Good morning, party people. It is Wednesday, the 19th of October. Welcome to TDA.
Not party people.
Party people, okay? What song was that? Nelly and... It was both Nellies.
Nelly and...
Nelly Furtado.
No. Yeah, they both had songs called Party People.
Yeah.
Nelly one was featuring Fergie, I believe.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Fergie. Yeah. How white women look the same sometimes. Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, the 19th of October. Welcome to TDA, the day after, your favourite news platform and the home of popular culture as defined by the culture. And of course, we are amazing in this room. So let's introduce ourselves.
It's your boy Big Moss from the east side. Don't feel sick today. Energy's on 10. Come on, let's go.
I wonder why that is. It's your favourite shade queen, my royalty.
First in attendance, Mr. Rotations, Big Man Use.
That's not even official, and you keep saying
Do you know what's mad? I never thought I'd see the day where you add liar to your bio.
What was second?
Because you were giving alternative facts.
Oh, I can hear bare haters, sorry.
I've just dropped something in the group.
Yeah.
Check it.
No.
Stephen was hearing you guys.
Come on,
Stephen, if I'm not the first one, I swear.
And he delivered.
Come!
Wait, is it
I got excited for a second.
The caveat.
What's the caveat?
Caveat.
No.
Is that...
No.
Wait.
You don't count. You don't count because the show was shut down, so that affected everyone's stats. I'm not having it.
You haven't heard what he said?
I know what he's going to say.
You're number one, though.
I don't care. Because that puts my number one into question.
Wait. Let him finish.
Let me just read it out so I don't...
First of all, yeah.
Don't make it up.
The 1, 2, 3, the fourth person is very cheeky of Stephen. I'm going to say. You didn't have to do that, Stephen. You did not have to do that.
Hold on, wait, let him clarify.
Okay.
And
weirdly
also,
enough,
I haven't I've got all, what's the word called? I've got put on leave.
You want special leave.
Wait.
I never took the time.
No, in the workplace,
let him clarify
in the
what these
workplace,
numbers are based on.
It's called special leave.
Let him clarify.
So this is not even fair.
Let him clarify. Go on, Brent.
no, I'm just going to give the caveat.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
So it says, weirdly enough, Esther was there 12 episodes before Yusuf, right?
Okay.
And that's why you have the discrepancy of her being 12 ahead of you.
Okay.
So
Well, even if it's
you
12,
couldn't
even if you
help
take
that.
away 12.
Wait.
You couldn't help that.
Exactly.
You understand? So if all things were even.
There you go.
If all things were even.
But they're not, and there's a reason for that. So
Player
I'm first,
hater.
bitch. I'm first. and
Player
that's that.
hater.
The queen in the shade queen is not for bands, okay? I embody queen
Player
in everything.
hater.
So big up me and my first self. I think what's interesting though, because Marks, I know you said that, yours isn't fair, but the half full part is that Manuel. You need Manuel.
Hold on, wait.
Let's
Let's give the listeners context.
Okay, let's give them context.
So this is the attendance list, right?
Yes.
These are based on. Hold on. So his absences that are, I don't know, fair or whatever.
Special leave.
Are those included in this?
No,
Yeah, they are. But it's not. That's why it's not fair.
yeah.
No. What I mean is,
It's all. He's just put down the attendance, so he hasn't basically taken off what he's been taken off. Because if it wasn't, then he would be here all the time.
wait. Are you saying this Marx's number?
That's as it is.
As in
when it
based
goes
on.
out.
Where he's been on the shows
Okay,
he's
cool.
been on.
All right,
Yeah,
cool. So
yeah, yeah.
it's taken into account that. Okay, cool. All right, guys. So this is the attendance list since TDA started, right? Obviously, I started late.
And
So
I don't
was
know why you keep
wait.
saying that.
Why are you hating? I was already.
I'm not
I was
hating.
already an unfair advantage.
No, you weren't.
What?
This is what God destined. It was God's plan that you come in at
I
the time you
started
came
late.
in. That's
Therefore,
not a
I had
thing.
an unfair advantage.
That don't count. Do you know what's mad? Do you know what's mad? It's like here when you start school. So everyone starts September. You just moved to a new house. So now you got to start 2 weeks
Esther,
after everybody.
what's the problem now?
No.
Esther, come on, man. Relax.
You start school 2 weeks after everybody else. If you're a true student, you get the same grades as the people who started on day one. So sorry, Yusuf.
That analogy doesn't even make sense.
Do you know what? Stephen, please get me the punctuality list. That's why I want it.
Stephen is not privy to such things.
Because
Now-
I tell you, I'm number one on that list too.
Guys, this is the attendance list, right? So we've got Esther. Actually, I'll start from the bottom. I think it's more entertaining that way. So we got our esteemed,
Alumni.
ex-host, alumni, my guy,
I think that's so rude.
Disu.
Big up this, man.
And what number?
Big
What
up this
number?
All the time, all the time.
On 4 episodes.
All the time.
Quattro, cinco, sequel, sequels. There you go.
Sound like a drug.
All right, next up on the list. Is she coming back? We don't know. You know what I mean? But we hope so. We got Koi coming in with 47 episodes.
Well done.
Nice. Next on the list, we got a draw. Oh, it's all equal here. It's a tie. It's a tie. E-Man and Margs on 89 episodes apiece.
And Mark's, honestly, I think that's such a positive because when you think that you are a host and the other, your time mate is a producer, his stats here should have been higher than the episodes we've had.
Yeah, it's true.
I think there's something wrong here.
Of course you do.
I'm surprised you guys are both 89,
That's what
89.
I'm saying.
I'm not.
You think I'm higher, innit?
No way.
Yeah, I can't lie to you because
I'm not sure who I think is higher, to be fair.
Listen, E-Man went on holiday. E-Man said, guys, I've got COVID. The longest COVID I've ever known anyone to have.
I was protecting you.
This man was still on holiday.
Now, in second place, the guy who came last, and therefore you would assume would be last or would be lower in the list, right? But he ain't, all right?
All
Esther,
right.
Maheda, Yusuf coming in number second with 103 appearances.
Well done, Yusuf.
And
Well
the number
done.
one, Esther. Let's go. All right, let's start the show.
The
All
number
right, so
one.
I'll do. And at number one, the most punctual,
Thank you.
the person who's always here
Thank
through
you.
thick and thin,
Thank you.
snow, sleet, hail, wind, tornado. She's going to make it
I
here.
appreciate it.
When I walk to student, I don't see that little purple car at the end of the road. I'm perplexed. I'm like, wait, where's that little purple car?
No, you and Susan. But yes.
We have Esther at number one with 115
Thank you.
appearances.
Yay.
Well, listen, yeah, I don't want to rain on no one's parade, yeah. But if you do the maths, yeah, because remember, I left, I got special leave. I got told to leave. Brent said go. okay?
Yeah.
And I
I
needed,
said go.
I needed it to be fair, yeah. I took about
Wait, what did
30
you say?
days.
He said Brent said go. You forced him. You had to go.
Look, I'll take that. I'll take that.
They might think it's what you
Because
did
I'm
to
not getting
Koi.
into this back and forth. I'll take that. Cool.
All right, cool. So I took about 30 days off. So 89 plus
30 days.
Do you know what's so mad? Legally, Marks, I've been supporting you, but you just took things way too far.
No, because it coincided with, anyway, it was too
You
much.
know how many days that is?
No, you're not killing me, yeah? So
89 plus
30.
30 is 119, so I'd be number one.
I'll be number one if I started at the same time you guys started. Let's be honest. Okay.
Okay, so you know what's funny, right? In the I mean,
I can't buy that because you come in there talking about, oh, I was tired, I was having sex. And all that. Yeah? Like, what the fuck? Like, we all
Mark
have
said,
sex,
let's
like.
get the stats for everyone who
Hey,
came here
hey.
awake and alert.
Not once did I mention sex.
Mine's filling in the
I'm actually screaming.
I'm reading between the lines.
I hear that, big man. I hear that.
No.
But this is not a lateness. This is appearance, bro.
That is too
Sex or
funny.
not, I'm here.
Yeah, that's too funny. That is too funny. But thank you, Stephen, for doing that. We really appreciate it.
No, we do.
We do appreciate it. So hopefully now, moving forward, we can stop this this talk.
All right. Well,
You can fine tune your intro.
all right. Second in attendance then.
Yes, we appreciate that. I definitely appreciate that. But shout out to everyone today. Everyone is tuning in our live. Make sure you like the video. Also,
E-Man didn't do the intro.
that's what happens when you're producing. You come fourth.
Joint third.
Okay, we will. Yeah, half full. Sorry, man.
Yes, so they call me, man. The pro-black activist, TDA producer and news analyst. And of course, the melanin is jam-packed.
That's right. Do you know what? You might not be first, but your melanin shows up before you do, so that's a good thing. Always good. That's always a good thing. But no, guys. Do also, because I know some of you are scared to call in. Nah, don't be scared. Call in. Don't be scared. Call in. So number is 075 6484 1073. Today's topic of the day is going to be a very, very, very interesting one. So we definitely want to get your opinions because we know you guys have a lot of them. Like the video as well. Also, shout out to anyone whose birthday it is today. It's a special person in my life's birthday. My beautiful cousin Georgette.
Cheers.
And she
Happy
tunes
birthday.
into the show as well.
Shout out, Georgia. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
Yes, so
Georgia.
big up Georgette. Thank you. Oh, I like this. I like very nice and sweet.
Yeah.
Short and sweet. I love it. But yeah, guys, how's everyone doing?
Yeah, all good, man.
Yeah. all good.
Can't complain.
Oh, I finally watched The Woman King yesterday.
Oh, what do you think?
Loved it.
It was dope, innit?
Absolutely loved. Like, I absolutely admire and love Viola Davis. She's such an amazing woman. Because I watched them on Breakfast Club and they're talking about like the discipline, the training that they had to do for months, and it was so like I was so proud of them. It was amazing.
Apparently, it was 2 years they trained for.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
every single day. It was mad. It was because when I was looking at her in the film, the definition in her back, I said, nah, sis. Even muscles, I feel like even muscles she didn't know she had were activated, and they all looked so good. And the South African actress, Tuso Mbedu, I believe her name is, she was also in Breakfast Club, but it was like this her first like kind of, you know how we had like Lupita. So I really wish her great things. It was amazing. Also 2 words, John Boyega.
Yeah, he smacked it, innit?
What a babe.
smacked
He
it.
really did.
He
I feel
smacked
like,
it
because
still.
I never really watched Star Wars. That's what he's part of, isn't it?
Yeah.
I never watched that. It's just not my thing. But seeing him doing different things now, I love it for him because I recently watched Breaking as well. I think it's on Amazon Prime. Proper sick. Proper. So he basically plays this guy who's left. He's a war veteran. And obviously they come with the whole situation they deal with. And he's got like a shaved head. He looks like Denzel, honestly. Amazing. And then he's basically goes to rob a bank.
Yeah.
But he doesn't actually rob the bank. He's just there for some official business. I don't want to ruin it because you guys really should watch it. And it's just seeing him. So he basically has like a mental breakdown. But just seeing him kind of like take that role so seriously and do that. What a Nigerian man. Beautiful man he is.
Yeah. You could tell a lot of his, I think a lot of his lines were like
Close
off
to him.
script.
Oh yeah, what in Woman King?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like all the little like uncle,
Uh-huh,
dad, little
that-
jokes.
yeah, the little thing. Yeah.
When he goes, move my friend.
Yeah.
I was like, that wasn't in the script.
Yeah, I could tell. I feel like, and that's one thing because I saw people kind of complain about the African accents people were doing, but I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah, I don't think it was that bad either.
Because when I think of Annalise Keating, and I think what Viola, I was thinking, no, she did really well. It wasn't cringe. It usually makes me cringe, when people do the African accent thing. But I could tell that he definitely tapped into his Nigerianness and into his dad.
His dad and uncle.
It
whatever,
was
yeah.
so
It was good,
perfect
it was
for
good.
him. It was funny plot twist though, that the Yorubas were the enemy in the film.
Kai.
I know. All your people.
Oh, yeah, they were. Yeah,
I said, oh, hate to see it.
That's what I'm saying, man.
But it was really good though. You guys should definitely watch it.
Yeah, it was good, man.
I'm going to try and watch it again before it comes up.
Where did you go? Cinema?
Yeah.
Yeah, I might have to go and take a trip there as well.
No, it was
I definitely
really
wanna see
good.
it.
Did you
I've
feel
been waiting for it to come on my fire stick, but
It's not.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but
Let's support. Let's support the right way.
Did you feel any tears coming?
Do you know what? I'm a crier.
Yeah,
I do this.
yeah.
But and I saw people saying it was emotional, but
Yeah.
no, only when I don't want to ruin it, but that part, there was one part that I had to shed a tear when they had to escape.
Oh
So I
yes,
said, yeah.
yes.
But that was
yes.
the only part I actually cried at.
Yeah.
But even
I was
then, it
feeling
wasn't
then.
like,
I was feeling it.
yeah, I feel like your eyes have to be a bit misty, otherwise you're a witch. Sorry, man or woman.
And the girl, I don't know her name.
Yeah.
The young girl.
Oh yeah, Tuso.
Yeah, her emotions in that scene.
Oh, it was moving.
It was very moving, very moving.
It was so moving. It was a lot. It reminded me sorry, if you haven't finished How to Get Away with Murder, have any of you guys watched that?
I've tried to
Couple
watch it, but I think that
episodes,
is boring as hell.
That's dead. So you're not gonna. So no one's gonna watch it, yeah? Okay. So at the end of, let me not ruin it too
How
much.
many
but-
ends did they actually have?
What, How to Get
Ends.
Murder?
Yeah, exactly.
No, they had one end.
And I swear the show's old anyway, so you can talk
Yeah,
about
like 2-3 years ago now.
it. Yeah, that's not a spoiler alert for something that came out 2 years ago.
Okay, no, but if you're gonna
That
watch it
stupid
though,
light-skinned
it's a
boy, the one
journey.
who loves the white girl, is one of the most annoying characters that's ever been
Wes?
created in human history. Is that his name?
The one that.
The stupid light-skinned boy, the main boy with the curly
Oh
hair.
yeah, West. Yeah. You know
That's
he's
why I had to
British.
stop- I don't care. I had to stop watching it. I had to stop watching it. This
don't
guy's a
give a
fucking
No, you
idiot.
should definitely finish. It's such a I cried so much watching it. The end. So there's a particular scene here, but what Tuso did reminded because someone basically gets killed. Someone really, really close to Annalise gets killed.
Yeah.
And the way she screamed, yeah. I had 3 breakdowns that day. I cried when I watched it, yeah. Then I had to rewind to the end again. Then I cried even more. Then when I was going past my sister's room, I saw her watching it. Then I just stood behind her and I cried again. It was a lot. It was honestly, How to Get Murdered is one of my favorite shows ever.
Serious?
Elite show. Shonda Rhimes is just
I tried to watch it, but the premise doesn't make sense. So everyone who's in this fucking class is a murderer.
becomes a murderer, yeah.
Yeah, but why?
But you know what's mad? Because it it's life, innit? Sometimes you don't mean to kill people and it just dies.
That's like all of us here, like suddenly we're just all murderers out of the blue. Like, why?
Oh,
why?
what? By the end, they all catch a body.
Yes, except Annalise. You know how sick that is? She's the only person who never killed anyone.
Annalise, is that Viola Davis?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
She's the only person who actually never killed anyone. Because they killed for her. It was a lot of foolishness going on, but she actually never got her hands
But
dirty.
why does it always stem down to murder all the time?
Because the show's called How to Get Away with Murder. What do you want them to get
That's a
married?
show.
I know, but spread it out.
No, they can't because it's about the Keating Five.
No, but spread out the murder. You can't have murder. You can't have a classroom full of 30 people and everyone is murdering everyone in the class.
No, but that's the thing. Not everyone. It's the 5 people.
Oh, just 5 people who are murderers.
Yes, it's the Keating
The
Five.
special 5.
Yeah, the special 5.
Yeah.
So she picks out the select students from in her class.
Yeah.
And they're the ones who basically get personal mentorship basically from her.
Okay.
And then is in that the murders start happening. But the first murder happens with her husband. Because he was a white man, sleeping with a student. The student went missing because the student got pregnant. So he tried to get rid of her.
Wasn't that her brethren that done that? The youth with the beard?
Yeah, Frank. Oh, Frank is an elite white man. Once in a while, I think, wow, maybe I could swing that way. I couldn't, but so Frank is an elite white man.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't trust your judgment on white men anyway.
What do you mean? Why not?
Remember when we were going to Leicester? You
Okay, I like Max
telling
Branning.
me and Marg that you like Max Branning.
Max Branning is a babe. Not now. I don't know. I think he's aged a little bit, but when I was younger, secondary school.
I think that's more just women just liking the
Could've got
bad
it.
boy.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, it definitely is
I
that.
always hear Max Branning's name come up, and he's only ever been a piece of shit.
It's the and that is definitely part of the attraction. But the older you get, you just fancy men that are bad on screen, not in my real life. I don't want a bad boy. I don't want that. But yeah,
What about Ed Sheeran?
let's start with the first
No,
headline.
he's ginger as well.
Let's get the first headline.
All right, say that. What about Ronan Keating?
I don't know who that is,
Uh,
and there's a reason why.
That's what the kind of she needs a bit of rough. I don't think that's.
Yeah,
that's
I need
what it's
a oomph. I don't like a shy boy. Stresses me out.
what's his name from Tom Hardy?
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy from
You know him?
what movie is he in again, man?
I was gonna say Batman.
I'm thinking of
but his
Tom
face is
Brady.
covered.
Oh, he played the Cray
He was
twins,
in-
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was one of the Cray twins. He
Yeah.
was
Oh, no.
he's Venom.
Venom, that's it.
He
Venom
was
is what
in
I'm thinking
Peaky
about.
Blinders.
Yeah.
I'm seeing
He
too many
was
different
in-
pictures on
is
here.
it Warrior, the UFC film? He's done bare things. Tom
Yeah.
Hardy's
No,
outside.
he's not my kind of white dad go for.
Like
He looks
H.
different in a lot of films though.
H.U.
H.
Do you know H is cute, but no, he's just cute to me. He's good looking. He's a good looking boy.
H, man.
The singer.
the
Oh,
rapper.
the rapper.
Yeah, the rapper, yeah.
I get him mixed up with the other white guy.
Because you're racist.
Oh, what's his name again? Ardy. He's like, oof. Oh, Ardy.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, no. Yeah, those are my type of white guys. But yeah, black all the time anyway. Black men's are it. I was going to say Black Lives Matter, I just thought it's too soon. But please, let's get to the first headline quickly.
I'm just showing the people what this guy looks like that you like.
Oh,
Max Branning.
Frank.
This is
His hairline is missing.
Esther's sweetheart. And
I need to-
gymnasts.
I need to see what you talk about.
Yeah,
if you
no,
get
man.
the silliest, deadest picture
No,
of
his,
Max
his
Branning
hairline is like literally over here
It's
in the
not
picture.
just his hair.
at the back of his head.
I said it's not just.
No, but I told you guys, yeah, Max Branning was when I was younger.
Yeah, it's everything, but that's what's sticking out to me. His hairline is
Okay, Brent,
This is a babe.
his hairline is gone, bro.
that's wild. You would not do this to me.
Boy, I just don't understand.
No. That I said I was younger and it was he had more hair. He had
But Jillian just likes him
Iman
now.
is dying.
Yeah.
Boy, sorry.
I don't think Iman can read headlines. Iman's going through it. No man, I love me
But-
some black men.
But
Max.
but what was that? What's that? Max. What was that, bro?
Yo, that picture is
Wait,
mad, you know.
he was noisy, mate. He was like Max. What the fuck?
I was trying to hold in the laugh.
Nah.
You don't know what that sounded like to me.
No, you're moving weird over there, man.
Oh man,
You should never do that again, Iman.
I was trying to hold in the laugh, man.
This show is
Oh,
ridiculous.
gosh, I'm telling you.
Oh my god.
Oh, all right. Let's get into the first headline, man. Let's do it.
Guys.
All right. So it appears they want Boris back.
I said, Boris.
Oh man. All right. All right. So as we all know, yeah, it's been an extremely difficult time recently for the Prime Minister Liz Truss. Unfortunately for her, it's got worse yesterday when the poll.
That's just crying, real tears, man.
Sorry. Actually,
Oh man.
Just go to the toilet. This is insane.
As we all know, it's been an extremely difficult time recently for the incumbent Prime Minister, Liz Truss. Unfortunately for her, it got worse yesterday when a poll found more than half of Tory members want her to quit, with Boris Johnson the favourite to take over. A bombshell YouGov survey revealed 4 in 5 party activists thought the Prime Minister was doing a bad job, and 55% were convinced she should go, compared to just 38% who were backing her to stay. Her predecessor, Mr. Johnson, was the preferred option as a replacement, with 32% supporting him as the first choice, while 23% said Rishi Sunak and 10% said Ben Wallace. The brutal findings emerged as the Prime Minister held a 90-minute debate with Cabinet over the parlous state of the public finances, although Number 10 insisted no ministers urged her to resign. There are rumours of MPs considering whether and how to stage a coup in the wake of Jeremy Hunt's extraordinary demolition of her flagship economic plans. Much will hang on the stance taken by the 1922 chief, Graham Brady, who met Ms Truss on Monday. There are suggestions he wants to hold off any action until the budget on Halloween, when the Chancellor is expected to lay out a nightmare menu of £40 billion of spending cuts. With the tax burdens now set to rise to the highest since 1950, and households facing £5,000 energy bills after the government announced its 2-year guarantee will in fact end in April, MPs are increasingly panicked about the prospect of voters giving their verdict. Also, just wanted to, I guess, kind of throw in some references, right? So Ms Truss's favourability rating has tumbled to -70, right, in this new poll from YouGov, which is, just for context, it's 15 points lower than the lowest that was recorded for Jeremy Corbyn. That's how bad she's looking right now. And another survey of Tory members also suggested that they're looking to back Rishi Sunak by 60-40 in a rerun of the leadership contest.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I think she's a sacrificial lamb, you know.
Mm-hmm. Like Kwesi.
I think they've done this to her on purpose, yeah, because I can't help but think, like, anybody that came into power in this time, the situation was going to be like this. Whether she accelerated it or not, I don't know, but I just feel like it would have been tough for anyone with everything that's going on, yeah?
Yeah.
But the U-turn that they've done on this woman, yeah, and the way that they're talking about her, yeah, is crazy. I'm starting to think they've done it on purpose. Like, they sacrificed this bitch. I don't know to what end. Yeah. I don't know to what end. I don't know what the plan is yet. But it's crazy. Like, they're on her neck, bro.
Yeah.
I see how they did Theresa May. Like, there was no way. Theresa May came in after, who was it? Cameron quit. And that was at the height of Brexit. Like, there's no certain situations, there's no way you're going to win. But I think that this country, politics-wise, has done a lot of silly things. But to have a Prime Minister resign and come back, that will be one for the books.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, but everybody's adamant the job's bigger than her. Like, she just can't do it.
It's a shame, man.
But why did they vote her? Like, why did they even put her in position to even get there in the first place?
Because, like we said at the time, they just didn't want Rishi Sunak. They did not want. They would have rather gone with her if they thought, even if they felt that she was incompetent, than have a brown guy over there.
You think so?
I think so. I really think so, because for that turn,
Yeah, this U-turn is
too wild.
Is drastic.
And now, because really and truly, when you think about it, then ideally, then Rishi should be the next one up, isn't it? Because it was between them two. But they're like, no, we still don't want you bad enough. Let's get the old guy back. The one we all hated. Let's get the old guy back.
Yeah.
The one we tried to get arrested and all sorts. With the whole Partygate.
Crazy.
Yeah, the whole country's on her.
Country's racist,
Everyone's just on her. Honestly, yeah, when you are driving home today, I beg you, please just put LBC on. It's so funny. It's so funny.
The LBC's jokes.
Everyone is livid. The whole country.
Man,
Like,
hate to see it,
it's-
Liz, but she got.
Right.
And I know Quest is at home on annual leave thinking, serves you right, bitch.
It's a shame, man. They did them dirty, man. But yeah. Anyway, next headline. It seems like every continent is pretty much protesting over the price of fuel. So high costs of living are driving people to protest in the streets against crippling prices. Assessing all the reported demonstrations over fuel since January of 2021 reveals that there's been a huge increase in protests this year. Fuel costs affect many aspects of daily life, as we know. Personal travel, transportation of goods, energy for electricity and heating. Around the world, demonstrators have called for change. They've demanded that petrol be made more affordable or even available at all. They've sat in peaceful protests and they've attacked governments. Some are having to pay even higher prices. But by analysing data on demonstrations worldwide collected by the Armed Conflict Location and Event Data Project, which is called ACLED, the BBC, they looked into this and they established that between January and September this year, people in more than 90 countries and territories took to the streets over the price or availability of fuel. A third were countries which had no protests at all over fuel in 2021. For example, Spain had none in 2021, but saw 335 individual rallies just in March this year. Aside from Antarctica, not a single continent has remained free of fuel protests in the last 9 months. In Indonesia, there's been more than 600 protests over fuel so far this year compared to just 19 last year. In Italy, there were over 200 in the first 8 months of 2022 compared to just 2 last year. And in Ecuador, there were over 1,000 protests over fuel in the month of June alone. I thought I would just throw this in. This will basically be a bit of a people's journal, but I thought let me just put it in there just to, I guess, remind people of the reasons why we've got this petrol rise. The war in Ukraine is just one of the factors which is driving up the global price of fuel. You got crude oil, which was cheap at the beginning of the COVID pandemic because a lot of businesses were temporarily closed and the demand for energy collapsed. But when things started getting, back to the new normal and energy demands increased, suppliers struggled to keep up with demand, and that pushed up the prices. Also, the US dollar is at an all-time high against every other major currency, the pound, the yen, all of that stuff. And the oil used to make petrol is paid for in US dollars. So if you've got a weak local currency against the dollar, it basically makes the fuel more expensive. Also, the Ukraine-Russian conflict has led to many countries declaring a ban on Russian oil imports. That means the demand for other oil from other producers has gone up, which also leads to higher prices. So that's why we're in the mess we're in.
Diesel hasn't even gone up or down for weeks, maybe even like a month.
I think it went up,
Is it?
I saw like 177, 179. The other day I saw 185.
Oh, you said 185, okay. Yeah. Tesco's near me. It's been 178 for the past like 4 or 5 weeks. Hasn't moved, hasn't budged a bit.
Yeah, 'cause I think they're trying to get y'all to stop driving diesel cars anyway. So
Maybe.
yeah, because if they put that down, then it doesn't help their agenda.
Yeah, and the difference between petrol and diesel right now is quite vast, isn't it?
Very.
Yeah.
It's like a whole 20p.
Yeah.
It's mad.
Lucky people.
And you reckon?
Are they? Oh, do you drive diesel as well?
Yeah.
I would expect it better from you. I'm very diesel. I actually can't believe that.
It's not my fault.
Might as well
He
eat
drives
meat.
a 4x4.
You know what? Them
You might as well eat meat, Extinction people need to get you. They need to get
There
your
you go.
tires.
Nah. I'll deal with them.
If you stop paying me £100, I'll leak the address.
If the extinction people catch you, boy.
Nah. And they will just literally deflate your tires.
Let one of them try, yeah. I'm telling you.
I wonder if any of them have been caught in the act.
Well, it must have been somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, weigh them in.
Nah. Some of them are devoted, They want to die for this,
It's true,
These I
actually.
think I'm joking. No, I'm
it's
being
true.
literal.
Imagine
Actually,
catching
I've
someone
heard
doing
it-
that to your
I've
tires.
heard it come out of their mouths. They said that they want to die. They'll die for this. Like, they will die for it. Because obviously, man's moaning saying like, "Rah, you are blocking off the roads for ambulances and stuff like that." Boom, 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 boom. And it was like, "Oh yeah, what if it was like one of your parents or your child in the ambulance?" They're saying, "Boy, so be it." You get me?
Sacrificial lamb.
Imagine.
Yeah, they're saying, "I'll risk my life to save the millions of people that need saving." They're crazy.
Do you know when we talk about like white privilege, yeah? Like we talk about it in terms of like, race and whatever and jobs and blah, 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 blah. But this is white privilege, Like,
100%.
because I still need to, I hope I meet one day. Not for anything, just to have a genuine conversation of what do you do for work? How do you live?
Yeah.
Is this all on annual leave? Do you do this before you start your shift? Like, what is this?
That's like the guy. You seen the guy who drives around on his bike looking out for people who are using their phones?
Oh, yeah.
Fam, that guy is a fucking jobs worker. He's the worst guy ever, bro.
But is he hired by the government to do this? Or is this something you do in your pastime?
I think he took it upon himself.
Do you know what?
He had to.
Do you know what your life must be to do that?
But again, this is the people's fault because someone should be hitting him.
No, facts. The guy's a nuisance, bro.
No, but I'm sure someone must have tried.
Yeah, no.
All you gotta do, because if you come next to me, like, hey, so I would just say,
Yeah,
and then now you're
though.
falling to the side and you're back, and that's that. Before you get up to catch my registration, I'm gone.
Gone. Exactly.
It's crazy,
these
man.
people,
Well, it must be too white.
Marks, can you make yourself a bit crispier, please? Thank you.
Is that what you want?
No.
That's the other way.
Uncrisp.
That's
That's
crispy, isn't
better.
it?
Yeah.
That's nice. All
Come on,
right,
man.
well,
No.
Oh.
I'm saying crispy, baby.
okay. Right, let's get into our what you're saying topic of the day. About that, I just want to give the people a reminder. Firstly, to like the video, because I don't think the likes and the viewers is matching up. Also, you are allowed to call in. We love how active you guys are in the comments. We love all of that stuff, but let's be active on the phone lines too. And the number is 075 6484 1073. Yes. Go on, King.
All right. So, today's topic of the day, and like Esther was saying, please call in because I feel like this will definitely be something that you guys would want to
I'm going to
contribute
tussle
to.
over.
Yes. And so the question is, why do you believe what you believe to be true? We could start any way you want. Obviously, I'm going to throw in the religion thing.
Of course.
But like in terms of all our, religious beliefs, ideologies and things of that nature, just the way we live our lives, right, our perspectives. Do you believe that you believe it because that particular belief system is true? It's really real? Or do you feel like you're kind of biased because you was born into it? If we're being honest. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Let's start there.
It's a heavy one.
Do you know what's funny? He asked me if it was heavy, and I was like, no, that's all right. That's not heavy. Okay, so I'll start. Because I think not all at once, guys. So when it comes to, I would say faith, right? I believe what I believe because so Christianity, I guess at the start was taught to me. So it was something when I was obviously as a kid, I didn't know much. I didn't know anything about the world. Similar to me knowing that I should go to school and I should do these things and A, B, and C, toilet, blah, blah. Christianity has always been a part of my family and a part of my upbringing. However, as I grew older, I got to know and have a relationship with God for myself. So though I started with it being passed to me, I believe what I believe now because it's my belief. Because I've had personal experiences with God that that's how it speaks to me, right? However, I am aware that in my growing up and in my socialization in this world, there have been parts of religion that has been taught to me. So I don't really think of Christianity as a religion. I think of it as a faith, as a relationship with God. But religion for me is what a lot of people practice, which is that you're like it's A, B, C, it's this, and da da da. Do you get what I mean? So I think religion has been taught to me, and currently in my life, as in this phase, this season I'm in, is on learning a lot of things that have been taught to me that I've just kind of taken on without understanding why. So a lot of things that I'm thinking about why is this? You say this, but why is it? Do you get what I mean? Like even when I remember when I was younger, that there's times where I wouldn't go to. I can't imagine not going to church, but that was because of guilt, not because I actually wanted to be in church. So sometimes I'm like, oh, I really don't want to go today, or I'm not feeling great or whatever. It would be guilt that makes me go anyway. But I've grown to realize that God doesn't go by church attendance. That doesn't mean you shouldn't go to church. Of course, you should worship other believers. It is encourages the faith, moves the faith, whatever. But that fear mongering, because I think a lot of religion is a lot of like fear mongering sometimes. So because of that, I am now in a place where I've missed church. I think this year, I've not gone to church like twice, but I haven't felt like, oh my gosh, am I going to hell? Or oh my gosh, I'm letting God down and blah, blah. But this is because I've decided now to understand why it is I do the things I do. Why do I believe the things I believe? And do you get what I mean? So I do think that it can be, I believe in God because God has proven to me to be true, to be real. And I feel it in my spirit. And God does speak to me, and God is in my life. It's evident to me. I can't deny that.
Yeah.
However, there are parts of religion that has been passed to me and projected to me and projected on me and stuff that I am now detaching myself away.
Can I just ask you, and correct me along the way if I make any wrong assumptions.
Oh, you know I will.
But like, based on what you're saying, are you saying basically your relationship with God, that's more of a like a relationship with a human being? It's dynamic, right? So it's like, I don't know, it grows, and you develop certain things. Experiences has taught you certain things. This and the third. I say all of that to say this: could that particular experience, that belief system you have, your relationship with God, fit into another religion then?
No.
Okay. So why can't it?
Because my relationship with God is a personal thing for me. The reason why I believe the God of, Abraham, Jacob, and Isaac is because that's what connects to me. Do you get me? I don't think another religion, I don't think I would have that deeper sense of faith and love for God in another religion. I don't think that's possible for me.
Okay, so it comes with some of the structure of Christianity. It has to come with that then.
It's structure, it's just what Christianity is. It's just the basis of it, the basis of grace, of love, of salvation. Those are the things that really speak to me. Like my worth as a human being is based on that. Like how I see myself, like what it all comes down to, regardless of whatever I go through in the world, regardless of what anyone says to me, ultimately, like my comfort, my peace, my joy, which are things that, like I could be unhappy, but I still have joy. I could be going through the darkest times, but I still have peace. So that peace, that joy, isn't something I believe I can find anywhere else. And that is literally because of God. So things will happen in my life, and of course I'm in the world, I will go through stuff and experiences, but what I can always fall back on, which I do always fall back on, is the joy and peace that I have in Christ.
Okay.
So I don't think, I don't think it's interchangeable.
So you clarified it because I was going to say to you, because you said just before that it's because of God. So I was going to say, is it because of the Christian God, or is it because of God? But then you clarified when you said Christ.
Yeah, it's definitely Christ.
Yeah. I think I'll speak more like from a broad standpoint. I think as human beings, we all have blind faith. Like we believe in things that we can't see. We believe in things that are, spiritual, above us. So we all have blind faith, obviously, with certain amounts of evidence presented to us. We choose, what to believe, what to consume. When you're born into something, specifically religion, you're taught from your parents that this is the way you should and the way they want you to live your life. Yeah. So from a young age, I don't want to use the word programmed, but you're
socialized into it.
Socialized, conditioned, programmed into believing in this belief system, innit? So when you're taught from, when you're in your adolescence, obviously you're much more, you're a sponge. So you're soaking in everything that your parents are telling you and the elders and whatnot. So you almost just indoctrinate into that lifestyle, innit? As you get older, you can choose to maybe explore other religions, other ways of thinking, other ways of life based on the other evidence that is presented to us. But ultimately, for me, it all comes down to blind faith.
Yeah.
We all believe, everyone in this room believes in God. We haven't seen God, but we believe that He's real, and we believe that in our specific religions that the evidence that we've been presented with is justification enough that God exists, and this is the religion that we should follow. But ultimately, we all don't know. It's all blind faith.
Yeah.
Like, no one's seen God,
Yeah.
but we believe He's real. It's blind faith. We have faith. I don't know where that comes from within us, because we look at the world and we look at existence, and we don't believe that this just came out of nowhere. We don't believe that the world just appeared out of nowhere. So for me, it's like I have to believe in a higher power. How else does all this make sense? You know what I mean? And that's where my faith comes from. Like believing that we all just didn't just appear out of nowhere. Like everything was created. Yeah, I mean, everything was created by something in it. So that's, I mean, I think that's kind of where it stems from for me.
I agree with that because the Bible actually defines it as that. As faith is the assurance of things hoped for and the conviction of things not seen.
Yeah.
And it's,
Yeah.
literally that.
Do you feel like, if we're being honest, that we've interrogated our belief systems enough to let's just say, to kind of base our lives on this? Because obviously, assuming we only have one life, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like we've put in enough work to look into these belief systems and say, you know what, why do I believe this? Does this make sense for me to live my life in a particular way because of this thing? Like, because all of us, because of our religions and stuff like this, right?
Yeah.
We have done certain things and not done certain things because of it, right? Because of what we believe.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you feel like we put in enough work to actually justify living this life with those constraints?
I think that's a personal like journey thing that you realize because
Yeah.
I've had times where I haven't been like I've imagined what life without God would look like. I've lived in times where my faith wasn't as strong as it needed to be when I haven't kept up the relationship with God. I haven't been reading my Bible, I haven't been praying, all that kind of stuff. And when I think of how the quality of my life then, I don't want to go back to that. Do you get me? So I feel like I've tested it to know that this isn't something that I want to be. This isn't like faith isn't something that I want removed from. Like I want to ever be away from, basically. Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Marks?
On my back.
Marcus was offline. I'm not sure if you guys realize.
Yeah.
I had a stinker. It was a whole malfunction. My camera dropped.
The thing is, the screen froze when you were like this. It always saw was your head's like looking at the camera.
Tilting to the side.
Yeah. I was like, Brent, look at your man.
It didn't even freeze. I think I froze because I was just like, ah. But all right, get me up to speed. Sorry, what are we doing now?
So the question is, topic of the day is, why do you believe what you believe to be true? So if you want to start like religion or the way you see life and stuff like that, why do you believe that what you believe is true? Do you feel like it's because maybe you was born into a particular religious idea?
I think most of us, our beliefs are forced upon us, kind of from what you're born into and what people around you believe. So then, like, obviously, like even what Esther was saying, that like initially she thinks it was happening.
Whoa.
What?
Oh, sorry. Are you coming to
Oh,
fight?
okay. He's gonna go off.
No,
man.
we're gonna tell him to hold on.
Call out. Give us
Call out,
1
give us a
second.
second.
Sorry, who's Mark's you're a host.
Alright.
Come on.
You look at disgruntled there. He was like,
I said what?
what?
We're going to.
You just made me lose my train of
You're
thought.
saying
hey,
like I was
everybody.
saying. Sorry, hold on. Sorry, caller.
Caller, give us 2 seconds. Let Mark finish his point and then we'll.
Yeah, you
come
were
over
saying
to
like
you.
I was saying
I
how.
got 2 seconds because I was about to go off. What's man talking about? Let's let the caller. Let's talk to the caller. Come, let's talk to the caller.
All right, go on.
I remember where you were, so I'll remind you. But yeah, sorry, caller. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, everyone.
Sorry, 1 second.
Were
Were you watching us on YouTube?
I was.
Have you liked the video?
Look at you.
I have.
Okay.
All right.
First thing I did.
Yeah.
Good man. Good
Good
man.
thing. As you work here.
All right. So intros. My name's Francis. I'm out in South Africa.
Hey.
Okay.
Love your guys' show.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. So just on how you started, I think if we're talking on the religious perspective, I think I've grown up. I was raised Christian, and of course there is that teaching, and it becomes easier to remain a Christian. But I think all Christians, especially when they hit adolescence, go through that stage where you're asking, like, is this for me? There are those questions where you start to ask yourself, and you have the opportunity to leave it and to defect. And to be honest, a lot of the time it does feel like it could be easier to defect, especially if you have people around you that aren't living the same life, and you see it might be fun, it might be more free, and you can enjoy yourself more when you're not living according to a certain creed, and you have to, have certain disciplines, for example. But then taking it out of the religious perspective, I think religion objectively is the truth for me. My faith is objectively a truth. But when we take it out of matters of faith, and then I think I believe what I believe because of kind of what my senses will tell me about the world. But what I've learned recently is that my senses aren't an objective truth. the next man can sense something different to me. And it's always now, I think as a person, you have to learn now, firstly, to respect the senses of others, but also to discern when someone is saying or seeing something that is not true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah, very good point, man. So, like,
Yeah.
right now, are you still practicing like Christianity? You say you was brought up in Christianity.
I am. I am. I am still practicing. I am still practicing. Yeah.
If you don't mind, yeah, has something happened in your life that's made you been more concrete in your belief system?
That it is. Yes. I would say yes to that.
Okay.
Just quickly, I obviously raised a Christian, and then we moved to South Africa from Zimbabwe.
Okay.
When I was very young, and obviously South Africa was a lot more liberal and a lot more Western than Zimbabwe was. And so you get exposed to different thought processes and ideas, and so that's when the questions came. But the moment I hit university, and at the time I was going through a really difficult period, and I found comfort. I found comfort in my brothers and sisters in faith. I found God during that time, and I felt I have real and personal experiences with Him. I love how Esther speaks about the relationship, because you can take away the religion, but that relationship with God was what kind of took me through and helped me through that time. You know?
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, so that same, like I asked Esther earlier as well, that same relationship that you have with God, right? Could that not be placed in another religious paradigm? Like, could it not be the same relationship that you have, but you, for example, pray 5 times a day? You maybe once in your life,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Go to Mecca. You know what I'm saying? Could it not be in
Everybody's
a
gonna
Buddhist
feel that way.
temple? Huh?
Everybody's gonna feel that way, regardless of what religion they are. I think.
But could it not?
I
be
think
placed in that?
I would say no,
Okay.
because the God of experience is very specifically the God of Abraham and the father of Jesus, and Jesus is my Lord and Savior. So when I say I have a relationship, I'm relationing with particularly that God, and taking it out and in placing into another faith would change on a fundamental level who I'm relating to.
Yeah, but someone who's
I hear a
from a
lot.
different religion is going to feel that way about their God and about like their God. They have their own relationship with their God, and it's 2 different gods. They're going to feel that way in their own personal experience. Like, obviously, they're different,
No,
but
that's
everybody.
No, I agree. I agree. Everyone is convicted to what they're convicted to. Everyone knows what they've experienced. But I think those transfers, I think what Iman is asking is about kind of seeing my God and relating to him through the laws of Islam, or the ways of Islam, for example. I don't think that's possible. I think on the fundamental level, it would change who I'm relating to. Yeah.
Okay. Can I ask this question?
Yeah.
Do you believe in
Yeah.
like monotheism? So like there's only one God, and maybe that God expresses himself in different belief systems, or do you believe in henotheism?
I am firmly monotheistic,
Okay.
but I do believe that there are other spiritual powers out there, but they're not the one and only true God. So
Okay.
the spiritual realm is a very large and very complex place, and it's full of things good and bad. But in terms of a God and one worthy of worship, it's God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit for me.
So okay, one last question,
Yeah.
yeah, which is I think kind of
Yeah.
tied to what Margs was saying earlier. So when you see
Yeah.
somebody else in another, for example, like you said, your experience happening in university, I don't know, across the dormitory
Right.
from you, who's praying to, I don't know, the Buddhist God or Hindu God or Islamic God or whatever, right? And they're crying
Right.
out for help, and then they get that help. They pass all their grades, they get all those things, and they're praising that God.
Right.
What do you
Right.
attribute that to?
Their
Is
faith,
is
innit?
no, is that
I
your
think-
God helping them, or is that you know what I'm saying, or is their God that you don't believe in helping them?
I think for me, the way I think about that is, I mean, good things happen to a lot of people, right? Regardless of creed or the God you pray to. But I would always think that I always see it as those good things that are happening are coming from my God. And it is, we obviously, that person and me have a different idea of the source of this thing. But for me, it would be to think this is coming from my God. I think people that are spiritual, I think we can connect, we understand each other on the basis of there's something bigger out there, and then we always then differ in terms of the explanations about that something being big, that's bigger. So my friend who is a devout Muslim will tell me where they believe their good fortune and their guidance and their spiritual growth will come from, and I can respect that, and I really love being open to the ways that other people think about their faith. But at the end of the day, it's always that is my God you're experiencing. Yeah.
That's so funny. Who's to say who's wrong or right? Every single person is gonna feel like that about their religion and their faith. You know what I'm trying to say? That this is how everybody's
But
gonna
I
feel.
think that's why it's important not to impose. I think Christians have irritated a lot of people over the times that we've been Christians.
That is
I
facts.
think Christians can
Alright.
be very irritating because there's a sense where we do feel entitled to impose the way we see the
Yeah.
world on other people.
Yeah.
My
Of
thing
course,
is, we
it's
can't diminish
important
anybody's
because we have the
experience.
Great
Yeah?
Commission.
Listen, we can't diminish anybody's
Say that.
experience. Yeah, and
Of
when there's
course.
no one to say what's wrong or right, it's like what Yusuf was saying. It's a faith base. It's faith that can't be proved. It's what you believe in. Everybody believes in different things. You get me? Everybody's got relationships with their own God. We don't know what's wrong or what's right. You know what I'm trying to say? But if you walk in a certain path, if you walk in a certain light, you can connect with people spiritually. To a certain extent, it doesn't matter what they believe. I was saying this to someone the other day. If I told my testimony in a room full of people of all different religions, yeah, everybody's going to feel closer to God. Yeah. Like to their God, everybody's going to feel closer to God in some way, shape, or form. And they're going to look at me and they're going to say, you're only here for one reason. But it's not going to be for my reason. It's not going to be because of my God. They're going to believe it was their God that's busting me. Whether I know it or not, the ignorance is bliss kind of thing. It doesn't matter what I think I know. They know I'm only here because of their God. And each religion is going to feel the same way. You know what I'm trying to say? That, and there's no way of saying who's wrong or right. You believe in what you believe in, innit? Like it kind of is what it is. Like the religion thing. So it's just so like
It's very complex.
yeah, it's very complex
complex.
because we all have our own experiences. There's people who've got near-death experiences, had amazing blessings, boom, they ain't never believed in Christianity a day in their life. And it's like, you can't say it was your God doing that or it was their God. We don't know. But at the same time as well, it's just like we were saying, are you saying that someone who's lived their life, and followed their religion to the T and been what is a quote unquote a good person, are they not going to be granted access to heaven now because they wasn't practicing what you believe?
I think on the topic of heaven, it's very simple from the perspective of, again, my faith. And okay, before I continue with that, I completely understand with you what you're trying to say in terms of no one can tell another person they're right or wrong. I think there's a difference between imposing. So I believe that person is experiencing my God, but I can't go to them and slap them and say, stop praying to who you're praying to, pray to God, right? That's imposing my faith. But I think if I'm in a space like this one, where I'm being asked questions about my belief, I think I'm well within my rights to say, no, my brother, I believe that the person you're praying to, I believe what you're experiencing is this. I haven't forced you to believe anything different. I've just told you where I stand.
Yeah.
And where I stand is I don't think this is the case in terms of your situation. On heaven, the God I pray to, the God I serve, has one, I don't like calling them conditions, but a condition to making heaven, and that's believing that Jesus is his son and that he died on the cross to save me, right? And if you don't, that's not where you stand, then I don't think you're making it. But then this leaning on heaven a lot is not good.
That's a flawed system.
So-
Yeah, but you can't say it's a flaw system when that's his
Can-
belief.
can-
He's telling you what his
Sorry,
belief
No, I hear that,
is.
but
It's my opinion. I can say what I want. I'm gonna have to give my
Let him finish
opinion.
first, Mags, because when you
Can I
cut
just finish?
because you're on Zoom, it kind of has a delay.
Oh yeah.
So it's disjointed. So let him finish first, and then you can rebuttal. Go on, Francis.
Yeah, I think the fear of hell is killing faith. It kills faith. basing whether what's true or not all the time on whether you make it to to heaven or whether you don't make it to heaven takes away from the fact that you should be relating to the God you serve, and you shouldn't be fearing the God you serve because they can condemn you for eternity. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Marga?
Okay.
Huh? You
No,
saying
go on.
something, right?
You can go.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just saying, I'm gonna have to give my opinion on things, and I was just think I'm not talking about one specific faith or religion or whatever. I honestly believe that anybody that thinks like that is flawed. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, so obviously, religion can get skewed over time and whatnot. But you have your personal relationships with God. Yeah, I have a personal relationship with God. I've been through certain things, and my beliefs are my belief. I believe, yeah, that my God, yeah, wouldn't do that to somebody, if that makes sense. This is what I'm trying to say. If you follow the Quran or whatever the book you follow, if you live your life as a good human being, yeah, and you follow them rules the way that it says, you don't do no wrong, your faith is strong, you're devout, you're a good person, I refuse to believe my God is going to let you go hellfire and brimstone, because that doesn't make no sense. What are we doing here? That doesn't make no sense. The reasons for us having different religions, yeah, I'm not saying they're so obvious, yeah, but like whether it's a single faith God or whether you got to believe in multiple gods or whatever, like the basis for these religions are all the same. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, and the reasons why we're different is because we are different. We're from different parts of the world. The world was so much bigger back then. Different parts of the world, different languages, different cultures, different communities. Them stories that go through that last the test of time. But we all see what happens when you play Chinese whispers. There's different twists on them. There's different things, but for the most part, they all center around the same thing. There's only two types. You either believe in one God or you got multiple gods, but all the different religions believe them are all exactly the same. So it makes sense to me why there's different religions, because people are different from different places. Where there's no way everybody following their religion and being good people, and you're telling me, nah, he got it wrong, so then he ain't coming in. That don't make no sense. That's because God wouldn't do that. Why would he do that for if he's so great and so understanding and so powerful? That's not going to make no sense. Because then what? Then everybody's screwed, really. Because we don't know who's right or what's wrong. So then you are just going through your faith and living what you're living, and then what happens then? Like that would make me. That would really like knock my faith if that's really true. Like, you get what I'm trying to say? That because then you're putting all your eggs in one basket, and what if you're wrong then?
So do you not believe that? No, go on, Francis.
No, go.
I was just going to say, do you not believe then, Marx, yeah, that some religions are wrong? In a sense where if you look at certain religious practices back in the day, right? For example, I don't know, if you look at the Mayans, for example, where they used to sacrifice maybe people and children, and they're just one of many, right? Like, especially if you're considering that God's all given us, I guess, one main rule, which is just to live, to survive, right? If they're over there sacrificing people, if people are sacrificing people, would you not think, wait a minute, that must be a wrong practice here? And maybe this religion over here, which tells us...
Is that something that's commonly practiced now? Because obviously, like, we're living through life and through history, and when you know better, you do better. Them things they died at, they didn't withstand the test of time. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, so okay. I'm talking about the common ones that have lasted, that have still been going on, because we're not talking about... There's people back in the day was praying to Odin and Freya and them guys there. They're not... It's not common now. It's not happening now, innit? You know what I'm trying to say? That. So we have to live through life to learn and to know what's wrong and what's right. The people before us done it and got so much things wrong that we know what's right now. So compare it with the religions that are around now, the big ones that are still doing the test of times. I don't want to hear about nothing that was happening them time there, because everybody didn't know no better. Man was savages and them thing. They're like, what do you expect from anybody 10,000 years ago?
Well, then let me say this to you. Then are you basically saying that all the religions that stood the test of time today are here because they're actually good, or because maybe they were stronger? As in the people that were behind it were stronger. Because remember, a lot of these religions are dead now because the people are dead.
Probably good. I think most religions are like a handbook to life. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, people don't know what we're here for. We don't know what the meaning of life is. Some people don't know, like, all these things. Like, we've got so many questions here. But if you follow most religions, and it could be anyone, if you read them scriptures, and you live how they tell you to live, it's essentially just telling you how to be a good person. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, or their whatever version of whatever their version of a good person is. That's all it's telling you. Just a handbook of how to life, how to go through, how to not hurt people, how to care, how to. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And if you do it, essentially, you're going to be a good person. That's what I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, I think I understand where you're coming from. I fully understand where you're coming from. I think if that were the case, in terms of where you're saying, live a good life and whatever religion you subscribe to or whatever God you pray to, then you would be judged according to the good things you've done, right? I think it would be great if that were the case. But I think when you spend time to look deeply into each religion, like what are the foundations of what each one is built on, then you start to find contradictions and you see that none of them can coexist and both be true. And as much as we'd all like for this to be the case, that is how it is. They contradict each other on fundamental topics and points where you have to accept we're not praying to the same being here. We're not dedicating our lives to the same thing here. But I think I'll end here in terms of, from my perspective, I think as human beings, we all have our values and our sets and our morals and what we think is good and what we think is bad, right? But I think it's really important that we take God at face value in terms of what he says about himself. We make the mistake a lot of the time of trying to impose our own moralities on God. And then we question him when he doesn't align, when he doesn't fit to our mold. We start to say, what kind of God would? Why would God? Etc. It's good to ask questions. I'm not saying that. But I think it's also important to understand that God is God and he's not going to change because you feel you don't understand. You feel it's wrong that he's made this decision. What I know about him is God is love. What I know about him is fundamentally God is good. And what I know about him is God is just. So I can't answer your question about people that pray to other gods but live good lives, right? But all I know is the God that I believe is going to judge them is going to judge them justly. I don't think they're going to be unfairly judged when the time comes. And that's what I lean on, and that's how I live. That's what I live with, and I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Pick up yourself, Francis.
Yeah, man.
Thank you
that
very
was
much,
really
man.
good. Yeah.
Great caller.
No stress, man. Thanks, guys.
Have a
Appreciate
lovely
you,
day.
man.
Take care. God bless.
Yeah, this conversation is very interesting, man. Very interesting. It's hard to have though, because when it's just all based on your blind belief and faith, how can you argue? You know what I mean? It's so many layers. I was just listening to you, trying to cultivate, my thoughts, and all I have are questions. That's the thing. Like it's just, bruv, it's so layered. It's mad. It's actually a mad concept. This religion and God and everything is actually crazy.
Yeah, it's very,
To you,
very
Manuel.
interesting.
I was just about to ask you, Ben, what do you think?
No, we're going to you.
Oh, you're atting each other.
Let's do it. Yeah,
Ding,
go
ding,
on,
ding,
I
ding,
think you asked
ding.
me a question.
Round one.
Answer the same question
Same
you asked
question.
everybody.
I think it's a bit of both. Like in the sense of first thing that Yusuf said about there's definitely a level of belief, 100%. There's certain things you just can't prove, and I don't think we ever will be able to prove. But I personally, especially at this point in my life, I like to keep belief to a minimum. So I like to know and keep belief a bit less, because I feel like otherwise we're just floating around chatting to people about opinions, and we're ready to kill and dive for things that are just opinion based, and that doesn't make no sense. Because when you're dead, that's it. There's no coming back. You know what I'm saying? And you just leave somebody to just say sorry. Oh, I was wrong. Like it doesn't do anything for the person who's dead. And obviously, as we know, history has always showed us that religion has been the cause of millions and millions of deaths. You know what I'm saying? So
Every major war.
yeah, 100%. So long story short, I like to keep the beliefs to a minimum. But in terms of I think definitely there's definitely been an influence where, because I was raised in a particular belief system, that I have an affinity towards it. I don't think I would wake up if I didn't have the same parents and same cultural background and have the same faith. I do think I've added to those things though, definitely, because obviously my parents didn't teach me about the Nation of Islam. My parents didn't teach me about Ifa. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know about those type of things. That's me with time.
Gaining
You know what I'm
knowledge for
saying?
yourself.
Yeah. So
As you get older, do you just feel like you just gravitate to things that just speak to you as a person?
100%.
I mean-
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like it's necessary because, and this is why I was saying in one of the other shows about religion and how God should be like for example, when you said you've always kind of thought that God is black because you're black. You know what I'm saying? Like that makes sense to me because I feel like you go to every other belief system, the people look like, the God looks like them. You know what I'm saying? And if it doesn't, I feel like that's an issue. And so
That's actually interesting. I never thought of that.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's if you.
I think what I said was I've never thought about God in that sense, as in God has a race. But if I was
Yeah, I've never
to
thought
think,
of
if
it.
I was to
Yeah.
think about it and I was to imagine God, I would imagine a black man.
Yeah, exactly. That's better. Yeah,
I wouldn't imagine
what
a black
Yusuf
man.
said. Huh?
I wouldn't imagine a black man. I've never thought of
Why
God
is that?
about race. I've never thought of God to have a race. But even if I did think of God to have a race, I wouldn't think a black
Thinking
man.
of black.
I've never thought
'Cause
about God as a man.
if I get then God is black,
Yeah, no, yeah.
and we
I've
went
never-
through all the things we went through,
But the thing is,
You have to talk.
if you close your eyes
yeah.
and started to speak to God and you just envisioned a physical being, what would that be?
Ain't that blasphemous?
All right, Pastor Marks.
Well,
James, I think for me, because I know that-
I'll ask a question, innit? So
Because I know God is a spirit. Because I know God is a spirit. In my mind, like when I even close my eyes and see, it's a glowing image. Do you get me? So it's so hard for me to place features, like as human features, even though we're made in God's image.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we are going in God's image, but I just can't. I mean, there was time, I remember when I was younger, I tried to think of, and I've actually spoken to other Christians who have tried to do this, and boy, where I tried to think of, how did God get? Who's God's dad? And I tried to think of,
So who's God's dad?
yeah, like how did God get here? Like who made God? How did God get here? How did God become God? And thinking all that. And honestly, my head was going to like
The thing is, your head will explode.
explode.
if you
It
think
was.
that far.
It actually, I felt like very like, oof, okay.
I think there's certain things that human beings don't need to know.
Yeah.
Like, you just have to accept the way things are, and that's it. Like, because that answer, you'll never ever be able to get that answer. So why even rack your brain thinking about it?
I was young. I had stuff to do. I had nothing to, but yeah, I think religion is definitely an interesting one. But I think when people, like when you're part, if that's your faith, you always feel strongly about it. Do you get what I mean? So regardless of however you speak about it or open-minded you are, I think to not be in that faith with me, because I could even speak to another Christian who, for them, it's a different experience. Because remember, this is all personal, right? So I don't think any of us will ever be able to fully understand why it is that people believe what it is that they believe, because it's personal. Sometimes I can't even put into words how it is that I feel about God, but it's just it's personal to me. Do you get what I mean? So I can speak to there's Christians I've spoken to. I'm like, wow, your faith is a different other level. But when you think about human beings, like we're all different. We all have different life experiences, and we all come together. And I believe that our faith is impacted by these things, and God shows Himself relevant in each person's life in different ways. It's hard to understand why it is that someone would love God so much in the way that they do if you don't see God in the same way, or if you might see God even in a deeper way. Do you get what I mean? It's a very, very interesting interesting one.
But you know, in terms of like, okay, because I feel as though everyone was kind of talking about their relationship with God and stuff. Right?
Sorry, have you finished answering your question?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Ain't you gonna answer,
No,
Brent?
like Brent's on his neck, bro.
No, because
what you gonna ask?
What was that? What was
What
my
got him
train?
stuck?
What was my train of thought? I
where
can't remember.
where were you interrupted?
Yeah.
You're basically saying where you started. And
What? Say again? Where I
as in-
started?
Yeah, as in
kinda
that
how
you were
started,
raised-
But what?
Oh, sorry. Okay, go on.
Huh?
No, go on.
Yeah. You said that you can't just rely on belief.
Yeah. I
And I
can't.
need to know what So what is left then? What do you frame or ground your living
On knowing.
if it's not belief?
Unknowing.
On knowing. So
Yeah.
as in facts, right?
Yeah.
Back to economics and stuff.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Ki-
So
kind
explain what that looks like.
Um,
If you're talking about faith, explain what that looks like.
Like my faith, I guess, would be like there's certain things I can't prove, right? And those things, like I said, I try to keep them to a minimum, but I still acknowledge that they exist. That I don't think I can ever prove them. It's based on my relationship, my experience, my feeling about certain things. But other things, I feel like I have a right to interrogate, and I mean everything I feel like I have a right to. But like, and this kind of goes into my question I wanted to ask everybody. Like, in terms of, I understand that everyone has a relationship with God and stuff like that, right? But, and this is why I was again saying what I was saying before about, does it have to be in that religion? So, for example, if you're a Muslim or if you're a Christian, for example, or a Jew, do you believe everything in that book, in those books? And is that necessary? You know what I'm saying? Or is the
I ain't even read the
relationship?
book like that. I don't even know what's in the book properly, to be totally honest with you. So, when you say everybody's got their relationships with God, yeah, have you tested your relationship and to what ends, like, if that makes sense?
I
Like,
said, I think that's when you were a bit cut out, and I was saying how, like, so I was raised a Christian, but I just went to church because it was what I had to do every week. I did know God was amazing, God blessed, and all that kind of stuff, but from a child's point, like from a child's level, right? And then the older I got to know who God is for himself. So I didn't just go to church to do, like, obviously when you're young, you do like Bible study, you read about Daniel and, no, not Daniel, wow, David and Goliath and Daniel in the lion's den. And but growing up and then doing, and like forming my own relationship with God, praying myself and reading the Bible, and then like that divine knowledge was coming to me more. And even in that, like, my relationship with God is in no way perfect. Not at all. Do you get what I mean? I have moments where I dip, I don't read my Bible as often as I should, I don't pray, I get distracted, but I've lived in those times. Those are my darkest times in life. Truly is. And not just because I've been conditioned to believe that, you know, all my answers in the Bible. No, like, it truly is my darkest times in my life. So I've tested, I would say that I know what it's like to not be part of God's family, to not have a relationship with God, to not keep that relationship, to not maintain that relationship with God. That's it. To not maintain that relationship with God. And it's made me realize how much I do want to maintain that relationship with God.
you see that having a relationship here, doesn't it have to present in a certain way? Like, obviously it will be two extremes, either extreme something like happiness or good, or extreme bad, like you're saying in bad times. Like, don't things actually have to have happened to prove it to you, to say that I know this is by the grace of God alone, if that makes sense, like in your relationships? Or is it just building and prayer that gets you closer to God?
No, I think one thing I've been very grateful for is that even in good times and bad times, I've still wanted to draw close to God. Do you get what I mean? Like, I remember, so what was it? What year were we in? 2020? I think it was last year when I had a house fire that I literally could have lost my entire family in. In that time, I had so much losses, and the easier thing for me to do would have been like, why would God let that happen? Do you get what I mean? But to my surprise, that was the strongest my faith had ever been. Like, I can't even put into words how just loved I felt in literally what was a tragedy. Like, even because it happened on a Friday, on the Sun, I literally was homeless. On the Sunday, I was in church, and everyone in church, even though they were like happy to see us and stuff, they were all like, "We can't actually believe you're here."
Yeah.
Like, do you get what I mean? So I think I've had good times that has showed that obviously I've been great, but it's easy. Do you know what I mean? It's easy to obviously love God when things are great.
Yeah.
But I've had bad things that have literally rocked my world, and I've still loved God maybe even more, because it's like, do you know what? Yeah. I don't know if that answers your question.
Kind of, yeah. Kind of. I hear what you're saying. Because obviously I have very what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, but there's things that's happened to me in my life, like multiple times.
Yeah.
And that's led me to believe that I'm only here on this earth walking of sound mind because of the grace of God. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, and it's not even necessarily, it is usually bad things. I don't know if that's just like human nature, like the blessings and thing as well. Obviously, I've been blessed with natural born talents, like God-given talents that I've just had. That I don't know how, I didn't have to cultivate them or anything. I just have them. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, so I've got very tangible things that I can look at and point at that lead me to believe of something greater in life. You know what I'm trying to say? That, but is that like skewing my brain, if that makes sense? Like, do you believe in luck?
I don't believe in luck. I believe that everything that happens, I do believe that I do have free will, and I believe that I can influence some things, but ultimately, I believe God's will be done. But I think even you saying that, you know, there've been like really bad things have happened, and then you've still thought, you know, I'm here by the grace of God. When you think that not everyone thinks that way, a lot of people do not think that. A lot of people look into the world and be like, this bad thing here, this bad thing here, this. And why is it, if God is so nice and God is so great and blah, 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 not everyone has that mindset, and I think even that mindset
I
that
find
speaks to something
myself-
that's divine.
I find myself thanking God and praying to God more when the bad things are happening to me.
Yeah,
That makes sense. It's weird, but that's just what I find. Like obviously, like you can believe like perseverance in these things are really big in the faith. Like God, and they say like God don't give you more than you can take, and they feel like this is setting you up for something. Like because everything that's happened in my life has led me to where I am. You know what I'm trying to say? Like I have to be grateful for it. It's bad or like it doesn't matter how hard or how terrible it is. You have to understand that this is above me. You know what I'll go on. This is your vision. All right, cool. Just you know what I'm saying? Like take the wheel. You know what I'm trying to say?
absolutely.
So usually when bad things happen to me, that pushes me closer to God.
I mean,
it doesn't make me resent him and think, oh, why this and why that and it's just like
Yeah, I think with human beings are so interesting because typically when something bad happens, you know, we do get pushed to God because it's like, okay, you're kind of calling out for help.
Yeah.
But it's always, I feel like I always say that one of the true tests of faith here is when things are really not going right. So at first, of course, you can call it to God and look to God. But when things are now going longer than you imagine them to be, what is your faith like then? Are you still holding on to, do you know what, God will lead me through? Or now is it a case of, you know, what's going on? But then even with that, like, because when I think about like Job in the Bible, he lost everything. And his period of tribulation was for a long time. Do you get what I mean? And even at the start, you know, he was like, you know, yes, I believe God to get me through and blah, blah. His wife spoke against it. All his friends came and camped up in his house. They were bad vibes. Came and camped up in his house telling him, why do you still believe in God? Just curse God and die. It'd be easier. And even there was a point where he still faced frustration. But even with that, it was like, but who am I really going to... Like he came back to God. And I have that as well, where I go through something. At first, of course, I'm praying to God. And then this is going longer than I thought. I'm like, okay, God, the girl's still here. I'm literally still here. And then there was time when, but I'm at the place in life where I'm like, if I actually don't believe God is going to get me through, how am I going to get through it? There's no other way for me to get through this. So, girl, you just have to keep going. You just have to keep building on that faith. Because for me, there's literally no other option in this life for me.
Yeah.
Can I say two things, yeah? That last point you just said, there's no other option. Before Christianity came, how would you explain how those people dealt with certain issues? Who, for example, got to I love him. Got to that point where it's like, I don't know what I'm going to do here. But there was no Christ to come to the rescue, right?
Yeah.
That's the first thing. Second thing, the story of Job, for example, in the Bible, do you believe that's a real story? And does it matter if it's real or not?
I believe everything in the Bible is real.
Okay.
I believe everything. Sorry?
does it matter if they're real or not? They're in there like fables and stuff.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if it's real. So if I could prove to you it wasn't real today, would that matter to you?
No.
Okay, cool.
I'm not going to take your opinion over God's.
Okay, not me. Not me, but let's just say science. I don't know. Just something could prove.
Yeah, but still, that's not. I'm gonna need Christ. I'm gonna need God to tell me this isn't true and be like, do you know what? Yes, I gave human beings divine wisdom to be able to write the book. But you see that story about Job and that story about this person, James and them made it up.
Okay.
Then I'll believe.
But them stories, I don't think if you take what you're supposed to take from the stories, and live how you're supposed to live, I honestly don't think it matters because it's teaching moments. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, and maybe it's easier to get through to people with stories of things that they can relate to. Like, whatever you take from the story, whatever the point of the story, whatever it was meant to teach you, if it gets instilled in you, kind of doesn't matter if it was real or not. It doesn't matter whether if God took hard-o bread and one hard-o bread and one snapper fish and feeded 6,000 man and then slap open the rock and got rosé wine from it. It don't matter. It don't really matter.
Funny because I always imagine the wine was rosé too.
I'll ask a question, yeah? So you were born a Christian, right? You were born
into Christianity,
and Brent born a Christian too, yeah? Just knowing who you are today as a person, your characteristics, your personality, your temperament and stuff like that. If you wasn't born into a specific religion, what do you think your faith would look like now? Like, would you be a Christian? Would you be another religion? Would you not practice a religion but believe in God? Would you be more spiritual than religious?
I think I was still.
I don't know. I'd be more open-minded and look into everything because I just respect people's religion so much. I've seen different religions have effect on people. I've seen Islam save a man's life, change a man's life, save a man's life. You get what I'm trying to say? That I've also seen the same with Christianity, and like obviously like delving deeper into it. Maybe they were born Christian, but they delve deeper into their faith and stuff like that. So I with the way that I think now, I would want to probably more study like everybody's religion and understand why people think the way they think or believe what they believe. I would want to study all religions. Like honestly, that would probably be it for me. You get what I'm trying to say? Like look into all the different gods and just so I can get more understanding. Because I just always believe like knowledge is power. You know what I'm trying to say? Like even now as a Christian man, I see people that are like in Islam, like Muslim people that are so, I don't know, man. They're just so, I don't know, man. Just like the way they carry themselves, like the way they live, they're just so caring and they're proper devout, like proper Muslims, like Asian men, like old men. I live in an Asian area. I've got relationships with people that I know. Like these people are just good people. Obviously, I don't know what they do in their spare time, but for the most part, they seem like good people. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I can't knock Islam or knock their religion. Like, I'm not about to even try and do that. Like, I respect it. I respect anybody that believes something higher than themselves and that tries to better themselves and tries to follow by it. I respect it all. I don't look at people and think, oh, you're wrong. You're wrong. This is wrong. Oh, you're not coming to heaven. You're going to hell because my brain can't allow me to think like that just for the way I am. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It is what it is. Whatever. I'll answer when my time comes. But that's just what I believe. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. To be fair, I respect the fact that everyone, believes, has the faith that they have, because I think life is hard. Do you know what I mean? And I think that for like faith and religion, like it helps people. It just makes life a bit easier. Not even a bit easier. It can make life a lot easier. So I just think human beings just want whatever can help them go through this journey better. But to answer your question, Yusuf, I think even if I wasn't born into Christianity, I think just the way my life is, my character, my personality, things I want for myself, it really aligns with Christianity.
Okay.
So I think I always would have found myself here. And even saying that, my family traditionally is actually a Muslim family. And obviously I was raised by my grandparents, and my granddad was Muslim, like fasted, went to the mosque, like everything. So I have been around Islam and Christianity. Obviously when I was younger, I could go to church, but I wouldn't say I was a Christian when I was younger. It was just how I was being socialized.
Because sorry to cut you, because I see people in the group in the chat, and they're making me rack my brain, because they're obviously saying like move the conversation on. There's other things. What other stuff apart from like that can even compare on the level of religion do we have beliefs in?
Marks, I've told them to call in to let us know what other parts we can talk about.
I've just put the email address, so if it is they have any ideas or entries, they should send.
Yeah, because you can't be upset with my religion. I can't think of anything else. What, my job?
I didn't realize we were even stuck on religion like that.
Because for me, it's the biggest thing.
What belief systems are there? What do you believe in that much and that devoutly that is even worth the conversation? If that
being
makes
black,
sense?
I can see I am.
Obviously, race, gender roles, sexuality.
Wow, Yusuf,
but all of these things, all of these things are potential like part 2s and part 3s. You can't have all of these things in one.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
Let's do one thing at a time. We'll do sexuality. No, we're not. We'll do gender roles tomorrow.
Yeah.
Sexuality, we're going to need a professional up in here.
Somebody.
I don't want to do gender roles. I was born in the 80s. My beliefs are stuck from back in Quay. You know what I'm saying?
I'm actually so done. But yeah, I think if you guys, obviously we're always open to suggestions. So we've got the community.thenewblack.com. We're very open to suggestions for this, a show for you guys. So we appreciate it, but you got to call in to let us know. It's difficult to
even so. I was
read
asking because I wanted to answer. Like, what is there? Like,
yeah, like it's difficult to read it in the comments.
What is the stuff that we believe in that's that strong, if that makes sense?
What you just said about you were born in the 80s, gender roles. You've been conditioned to believe that, because there are people. That's a real thing. Certain people really do believe the woman. This is what you do, and that's it. You do not deviate left or right from that.
Well, that's the part.
I don't like that people could be taught something for so long, for so long, and believe it for so long.
I know where this is going.
And then now, because society wants to change and everybody wants to be different, and they're vilified for their beliefs, for stuff that they've been told their whole life was right or even okay. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like that for me, that don't make no sense. I don't understand why we do it.
I agree with that because I always say to people, like, if you have a bad habit, look how long it takes you to get rid of that bad habit when you actually want to get rid of the bad habit. How much more when people have been conditioned and every single, from like when they've been born into the world, they've been conditioned to believe this thing. You can't expect them to just change their minds overnight. Yeah. It doesn't work it can't work like that. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. So I agree with that.
Even like certain like, say like racism and stuff like that. Like there's people that are born into racist families and they're taught racism. You know what I'm trying to say? And I think in this day and age, with the world being so much smaller and being so accessible, and even like living in London being so multicultural, your experiences are going to have a different effect on you from the things that you maybe know in your household. So you can be more open-minded. But I'm not surprised, that so many old white people in this country are racist, because people forget what they grew up in and what the times was like before and how we lived. And obviously it's changed now and it's different. But you can't just, it's not like a magic wand. You can't just knock someone on the head and be like, okay, be different now. After you was raised a certain way your whole life and you believe what you believe. Like, I'm not saying it's right, but like, I don't have that disdain for people like that. Like, I understand why certain things are the way they are. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think if you meet someone...
Someone's been trying to call.
Oh, is it?
Saleh, call back, man.
Yeah, sorry.
I think if you meet someone and they're living in that, whatever it is that you don't like about them, whether it be racism, colorism, whatever, and they're not actually acknowledging that, you know, their thought system and belief system is wrong, and they're trying to change, that's when the issue is, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like, we understand that people can be conditioned and programmed into thinking a certain thing, innit?
Yeah.
If you meet someone at a certain age and, you know, we all feel that, you know, with age comes wisdom, experience, learning, unlearning. If you meet someone at a certain age and they still believe in racism and they're still racist, it's like, I don't care that your family was racist, honestly.
Cool.
You've had enough time to change these thoughts. What's that?
What about prejudice or discrimination? What about people, sorry to go back to religion, but what about people that have been taught their whole life, that same-sex marriage is wrong, And it's not just because of they're devout and this is what they believe, through teachings that everybody taught and everybody was fine with, And then now the sentiments have changed society and they're trying to make same-sex marriage happen in the church and stuff like that. But people who we openly talk against it are being seen to be like bigots and shit or whatever. But it's like, I don't understand how you can just try and change someone's beliefs like this after you told them for fucking hundreds and hundreds of years that it was cool.
You know what is with that, I think with that, it kind of also goes back to what Yusuf was saying in a bit. I think you can believe whatever that you believe, but I think you need to be open-minded to understand that not everyone sees life the way you do.
Yeah.
So while you may not believe, you might not subscribe to same-sex marriages and stuff, people do.
Yeah.
And I think it's understanding and respecting that, do you know what? We don't all have to think the same. And this is how this person thinks. And that's fine. And not wanting to force whatever your beliefs are on other people.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes on in this world that I don't subscribe to. But I don't pass judgments and make them feel like they are less than anything else because they don't think, it's not possible for everyone to think the way I do.
Yeah.
That'd be such a boring world. So I think with that, yes, you've been raised with that and you've been conditioned and for years and years and years it's part of your family's history and blah, blah, blah. But at some point as well, I think that as the older you get as an adult, you've got to do more thinking for yourself beyond what you've been raised with. Really and truly. That's how you really get to grow as a human being. You can't rely on how you were raised and what you've been shown. At some point, you are in the world where you're now in a place where you're able to learn more. During COVID, a lot of people learn how to make banana bread. You go on Google, you do that stuff. Do you get me? So when you then come across, there's certain things I never thought about in my life, and I've come across someone. I told you I did psychedelic breathing the other day. When I was Googling, I was thinking, this looks interesting. But again, it's about, I'm an adult, I'll open my mind to this and see what it's about. And I think that's what a lot more people need to do. So fair enough, your family, historically your family were slave owners or you don't feel like gay marriage to be a thing, fair enough. However, you live in a society where there's other people beyond you. And you live in a society where other people have different mindsets and different beliefs beyond you. And so you open your mind to that and don't try and force and hate other people just because they live differently to you. Because there's things that you do that people think, right, that's weird.
Yeah, I think, like you said, the key word there is growth.
Yeah.
Growth, evolution, and change, innit? No one likes and an closed-minded, ignorant adult who's so arrogant and stern in their old-fashioned belief system. Like, the world has changed, big man. Like, evolve and change your mindset. Be open-minded. Don't just think one way. I think that's the issue. When you come across someone who's like that, that's fucking jarring, bro.
And it's funny because they always pick and choose what they want to believe in. So some people will be like, oh, all this technology these days, you guys don't know any better, blah, blah, blah. Okay, but you also have a phone. Why don't you send messages via pigeons then? Why don't you write letters anymore? You don't
Send the raven, innit?
That's what I'm saying. You pick and choose what parts of, society today you want to subscribe to, and then other parts you're like, oh, society today, this is just nonsense. We didn't do this back in my day. Well, guess what, auntie? You are also working from here to your workplace by foot in your day.
And guess what? It ain't your day.
It ain't your day no more.
It's a new day. I think we got a call away. Yo.
Morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Oh yes, you can hear me.
Yeah.
Yes.
How is everyone?
We're good, thank you.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got some views on this topic, which I think are probably going to be quite unpopular. But
Let's do it.
me
Let's have
personally, when it comes to beliefs, I think one of my strongest beliefs is that I'm quite aware that most things I could believe in would be completely wrong. And that comes from, because I studied a bit of history, and just looking in the past, like let's say during, what's it called? You might want to put a trigger warning on this, but yeah, during like the Holocaust, people in Germany had no idea what was going on in Germany. They didn't know that the Holocaust was actually happening. So that was, you could say that was an example of people being led and just being lied to by our superiors or people's superiors. Also, looking a bit further back in like the Tudor times, they used to put, if you had a headache, they used to put like leeches on your head to drain the blood, and they thought that this was the best way to like, sort your headache out. And that was seen as like facts, as Iman would say at the time. So I find it hard, and especially because, when it comes to religion, if we're looking at the times when religion was started, now at these times there was no CCTV, there was no DNA, there was no stuff, but there were still things like taxes. So these the people that were ruling these nations, they had to come up with a way that I think the more I think about religion, the harder it is. I wish I could believe in a religion, but I find it very hard, because these people had to come up with a way to rule these nations which was feasible at the time. So if people are going around killing their neighbors, you can't say, don't do it because we're going to find you, we're going to catch you, and then we're going to put you in jail, because most probably they were never going to find you, because there's no DNA. Like, it's just he said, she said. But if they come and they write this book and they say, you know what, if you go and kill him, it's going to be God they're going to have to face, and you're going to burn eternity. Now, people are going to think twice about, maybe I shouldn't go and kill him, because if I go and kill him, then, that'll be good for me in the long term. So I feel like religion was created to rule nations and keep them in line, which also I think is the reason why we have so many different ones, because in different parts of the world, different leaders created their different books, which was to keep their section in line with like the way they were living in their areas. And I think really and truly the most important thing is just to be happy. So and as I said before, I know that I could be completely wrong about all this. I could be completely wrong, but that's what I think.
And I'm not even gonna lie, I kind of hear where he's coming from, because if I look at things logically, I fully understand why religion is here. It's so necessary. And like I said, the people that lived before us had to go through things and had to learn how to even create a civilization to get us to this point to where we are today. So it's so necessary. It's like we were saying, they say die shall not kill. They never put that there for no reason. It's because murder was fucking rife. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? That it was rife in the community, and they needed to stop it, to control it, because you can't have anarchy in the world. You know what I'm trying to say? That, but they had to live through it and live through them kind of days to know and understand. So everything that religion brings to the table, yeah, if it wasn't real, if it wasn't something made up and constructed, it fits perfectly. Like I understand it so much, even why people believe, because once you got that blind faith, yeah, you have comfort in life. Once you believe that it's not about this life and the hereafter, then you answer your questions for yourself, because no one knows what happens when our eyes close, and it's one of the scariest things when you think about your mortality. And you see the people who it's not scary to, yeah, it's because their faith is so strong.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Anybody who's not scared of dying, it's because their faith is so strong. Like, so these things were put in place for a reason. Like, and my logical brain can't help but think that, because I love history as well. I see things, I understand how the world works, or why we got here and where we are. So call us onto something. I'm not saying he's right, but I hear him. That's not a bad take.
Yeah, I agree. And like you said, to be honest with you, I don't even think it's an an opinion. I think it's fact. Because like, if you look at, like you said, history, right? During the period of like Martin Luther and the Protestant church and all that type of stuff coming up against the Catholics, they had this whole thing where you had to give penance and stuff, because they introduced this new thing about how certain people who weren't in hell and weren't in heaven, what's that middle place called? You know what I'm talking about? Huh?
Purgatory?
Thank you very much. You know what I'm saying? And how did you get them out of there? By giving money. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we know this is historical fact. You know what I'm saying? Like, these things, a lot of these things are man-made nonsenses. You know what I'm saying? But I don't necessarily agree that it's the extreme where like murder was rife and stuff. I believe it's just that man recognized that murder is unpredictable.
It had to be, because it wouldn't be a rule. Just like that, like adultery and stuff like that. Men sleeping with other people's women, people retaliating, leading to more murder.
It's all sorts of things. It's even something like paying your taxes. Like, follow the laws of the land. If you don't follow the laws of the land, then you go to hell.
You gotta understand, I'll give people a scenario to put themselves in all the time, yeah. If you was in charge of an island, yeah, and this island's inhabitants had 50 men and 50 women on it, yeah, and all everything that your whole livelihood, everything you earn, everything you know is gonna come off this island, yeah, these 50 men and these 50 women, yeah. For this island to work and to function, yeah, you're gonna have to put rules and things in place. You get what I'm trying to say? That. So even if you left them, yeah, after a while, when you see that someone cheated on this one, then they went to retaliate and this one's brother got killed and boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
The things, them 10 commandments here will be perfect to make this island run smoothly.
Yeah.
Do not kill anybody. Yeah. Don't kill anybody. Don't touch anybody's gal. Yeah. Give to thy neighbor who helps. Boom, boom, boom. It will be perfect for society, for your society to flourish, bro. Like.
And this is what.
Like on.
Tell the people, follow this, and then if they come and they try and dispute it, and they say, "Well, hold on, why are we standing here listening to you?" The ruler will just say, "Well, listen, it's not me, it's God." You see, it's not me. Don't argue with me. Look up. That's it. And then that just shuts that whole argument down. So it's just a lot easier.
But you know, it's like, I get what you guys are saying, and I feel like I'm agreeing with what Margaret is saying, but I don't think it's as extreme as, for example, you're saying. I don't think it's necessarily a case of it like being rife. I see it as more so like people just looked around and just thought murder of any kind, even if it's just one or two people, is unproductive. And for us to be a productive people, right, and to move in a particular direction.
If they had weapons, and they never had them rules, I could imagine how I would be living at them time there. Any little ukums, if you can talk to me, I'm taking your head off, rude boy. The fact that it is one of the main commandments, I'm telling you now, it was rife. Them discrepancies, arguments, boom, 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 was ending in bloodshed, normal back in the day. Because we would have to live through it, to know that it's so wrong now. You think we just came here on some kumbaya thing? No way. But then the history of the world.
But then you're implying that it's like human beings were just moving like animals. How far back are you going? Are you basically saying like caveman times, or are you talking about like 10,000 years ago?
I don't know, but just living through it, there's so much things that we had to do to know that it was wrong. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like certain things, like you see, like incest and that. Like now we got the science and we know that it's not even safe. Sorry, we know we got the science and we know that it's not even safe to do them things or that. Like back a day, Them man, they didn't know. There was enough man signing up their cousin and their sister because they thought they were clean. You get me? It's because people was primitive. Like however long you want to talk, like you have to live through it to experience, because we're all living off experience. Like you got to learn off it. When you know better, you do better. You can't just assume that everything was cool. Even though I am assuming too, I'm just gonna assume that back a day it was wild.
I
man.
I 100% agree with you. I guess the only difference between what we're saying is, I think at the time when religion was introduced, I think before religion and like, you know, as in proper structured religion came, I think people recognized murder was unproductive. That's what I think.
Unproductive.
But, you know what I'm saying? That's what I think, right? But like you're saying, I believe there was a time where people were just moving nuts and just killing over nonsense and sleeping with everyone's wife. And again, the repercussions showed that particular society. This is unproductive. We need some type of structure, guys, because without no law, there's no order. You know what I'm saying? And we need it, right? But I think some things in religion, again, and I think you basically said this earlier, Marks, as well, like it's just a reflection of the culture. And this is why I was saying the other day about like Islam and stuff being something that came up amongst the Arabs for the Arabs, because at that particular time it was needed for them. You know what I'm saying? Just like Judaism or Christianity was needed for a particular group as well. You know what I'm saying? It was a reflection of the culture. Like, for example, in the Bible talking about, don't eat shellfish and them type of things there. You go to another part of the world where there's no bloody shellfish to even eat anyway. How does that apply to you? You know what I'm saying? It had to be something in your culture for you to actually to respond to.
I get what you mean.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. Yeah, I agree with what both of you guys are saying. You know, but yeah.
Thank you, caller. Have a nice
Yes.
day.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a fantastic day.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
Yeah, we have to.
do this another day because this is longest word on road. 11 word on road, bro. Topic of the day.
Yeah.
In 15 minutes.
I remember I got places to be as well.
Oh yeah, it's Wednesday. What are we talking
I
for
ain't
so
trying to
long?
put
This
it
nigga
out
has to
there like
leave.
that.
You're gonna give me the control of the camera and that.
Sorry, bro.
Is there Wellness Wednesday as well
Allow
today?
it, man.
Yep.
I know you lying.
Yo, let's just go to done out here.
Over to you, Mads.
I forgot it's Wednesday.
It's the rest of the show.
Oh.
We can
Damn.
skip Wellness Wednesday. Because I think this topic is
This
very,
has been
is a wellness.
Yeah, I think we can.
Yeah.
Bren, fine with that? Actually, don't be here.
I'm fine, but as you know, man, you only have one button to press, and
Yeah.
keep pressing those buttons. Alright.
Yeah, I think. Do we vote? Let's vote, guys. No Wellness Wednesday.
It's happening.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay,
lovely.
Yeah, he would just have to stand up and
yeah, just come there. Yeah.
All right. Well, next headlines. Chop, chop, chop. Let's go, go, go.
All right. Concerns about Albanian migrants being flown back quick, fast, and in a hurry. So concerns have been raised about a group of 11 Albanians flown out of the UK soon after arriving in small boats, despite a government undertaking not to fast-track Albanian nationals. Last month, the Home Office was forced to concede that it did not have the right to do so, after earlier claims from former Home Secretary Priti Patel that the UK could quickly return asylum seekers who arrived in the UK and made spurious claims. The Albanians are thought to have arrived in the UK last week and were taken from Manston in Ramsgate, where the Home Office processes small boat arrivals, to Stansted Airport. From where they were put on the plane back to Albania on Wednesday. It's thought to be the first time small boat arrivals have been put on a plane directly from Manston. Critics have described the incident as a case of zero-notice removal. While a Home Office spokesperson said they could not comment on the flight for operational reasons, government sources said nobody in the flight had an outstanding asylum claim. But non-government sources have told The Guardian that the 11 Albanians were not even given the opportunity to have their asylum claims considered before they were put on the plane. Mishka Pillay, who campaigns for detention action, she said, this removal of 11 people to Albania is an indication that the people in Manston may be deprived of due process. We have had serious concerns about Manston. The most vulnerable people are being hidden away from vital support and access to justice. In August, as we reported before, Priti Patel announced a scheme to expedite the removal of Albanians who arrived to the UK in small boats, saying that many are making spurious asylum claims. However, following the threat of legal action from the charity Care for Calais, the Home Office conceded a few weeks ago that officials do not have the right to fast-track the deportation of Albanian asylum seekers after they arrive in the UK, and gave an undertaking not to do this.
Man.
Second headline takes us, how do I put this? It takes us to India, but the focus is Nigeria. So, about 60 Nigerian students pursuing academics in an Indian private university, GD Goenka University, have fled their campus after they allegedly were beaten and abused in a football field and in their hostels. According to the Times of India, the Nigerian students say they feared for their lives and were staying in various places of Delhi temporarily as they sought the intervention of the Nigerian embassy. Reports reveal that they opted for the temporary decision to leave following a protest by a group of Indian students against Nigerians for offering prayers on a football ground nearly a month ago. So the protesting students who shouted Jai Shri Ram, which is an Indian slogan, had lodged a complaint with the registrar asking the authorities to ensure the Nigerians offered rituals or prayers known as namaz in India only in their hostel rooms.
Sorry.
The matter was resolved amicably. Police and the university, said that everything was fine. However, on Sunday, both the police and the university management said that the football field had nothing to do with the protests. So they're saying this is a completely separate incident. But according to a Nigerian student who was there, by the name of Khalil, he said that the trouble erupted on Friday when the university decided to have both Indian and Nigerian students in one team. So he said, our captain spoke with the sports officer and laid down his objections against a mixed team. The officer decided to call off the match. Despite that, a few Indian students entered the field, and before anyone could realize a thing, somebody hit our captain on the head with an iron rod. Outsiders who came on bikes also joined them, and there was a clash. However, the matter was solved that day itself. Khalil later then alleged that a group of Indian students attacked them in the hostel the next day. He added that they heard abuses and threatened us with dire consequences. There's 63 Nigerians here in total, he said. We have left the campus for the time being, and we are staying in Delhi. Some other Indian students came out and said, it was the other way around, that they were attacked by the Nigerian students. But obviously, I wasn't there, but I don't see how 63 Nigerians are attacking the whole campus of Indians. But, it is what it is. Hopefully, they can resolve that, though.
Yeah, hopefully.
And the last headline for this section is takes us to the home country of our good caller, Francis, South Africa. So South Africa's president, Cyril Ramaphosa, has withdrawn controversial perks for cabinet ministers and their deputies that saw that their home supplied with free electricity and water. Hope that made sense. The benefits caused a public outcry as they were considered insensitive at a time South Africans are struggling with daily power cuts and rising costs of living. In a press briefing on Monday evening, a spokesperson said the president acknowledges and appreciates the public sentiments on the matter. The ministerial handbook, which outlines the ministerial benefits, will be aligned to the realities that many South Africans are facing. This is what the presidential spokesman said. He said the intention behind the perks was not a nefarious one. The intention was to try and find some form of balance between what ministers could afford versus some of the costs that they have. And that's the end of the headlines.
Alrighty, word on road. Let's go. All right, well, my Aunt Wendy is doing better than ever, her publicist has said. So I reported a while ago that she was checked into a wellness facility, essentially a rehab. No word exactly on what it was that she went in there for, but she's been open about, struggling with drugs and alcohol in the past, so possibly could be that. But her publicist, Sean Zanotti, has confirmed that she's home and healing well and looking forward to the next thing that comes up. Next things for her career-wise, and she's got a lot of projects that she's trying to release. So it says, Wendy's excited about the road ahead and looking forward to releasing her many projects. I'm definitely looking forward to them as well. And she said that Wendy passed on a message to her supporters and said, thank you to my fans for your love, support, and many prayers. I am back and better than ever. And I really do hope she is back and better than ever and she can flourish. I'm really looking forward to that Wendy Experience podcast. It will be telling all the truth, so I just know it. And so big up Wendy Williams, and hopefully she can stay on the straight and narrow path. And next as well is about Lil Baby. Obviously that was covered in the rotation. Well, people love a speculation about, what lyrics are about. So I told you guys when Quavo and Unconfused, that name is the funniest thing. It's just so funny to me. But when they released a song and basically, the album, they had an album, didn't they? Yeah, the album.
Yeah.
And one of the songs on there, people said he was basically shading Sweetie. Talk about, she got with his friends and all she had to do was ask and blah, blah. And there was a lot of speculation about, who he was. And one of the people that people attached her to was Lil Baby. And so Lil Baby's album now, people have basically clocked 2 tracks where he basically references the situations. So on one of the tracks, Stand On It, he says, I don't want your bitch. We can't swap out, which references something that Quavo said. So when they were going out, Quavo, I think they went shopping or something, and Quavo was talking about it, and he basically said something about swap out. So he's referencing that. So he says, I don't want your bitch. We can't swap out. They ain't on shit. Tell them to pop out. Fair enough. Lyrical genius right there. And then Quavo responded and said, ain't tripping. We can swap it out. Hashtag QC the label. Because obviously he's Lil Baby's part of QC as well. And then also in another song as well, he basically referenced Saweetie. So there was a while ago where Saweetie had a picture and it's her and she's kind of sitting on this guy and people couldn't really tell who the guy was because she didn't show his face or anything, just his legs and his shoes. And then people kind of found a picture where Lil Baby looks like he's wearing the same garments as that picture. So he mentioned that as well on one of his songs. He said the song not finished. He said, she posted a picture without my permission, got me in some shit, man. These women is wild. She fucking niggas, but think I don't know. That shit really a joke, man. Lil Mama's a clown. Reading that, it's a bit contradictory to me, but okay. Each to their own. But yeah, and also he had an interview recently as well, and he did confirm that he hasn't got beef with Migos. It's nothing like that. He was like, it's a whole internet stuff. He said how sometimes, he's like, I don't really spend a lot of time on the internet. He said he sees things are sent to him sometimes, but he just can't be bothered. He just checks out of it. So yeah, he was like, all of that stuff was all internet stuff. There's no beef whatsoever. And it's all good. And then my next bit, it's not really news yet, but I was just so interesting. I think I have a message for the ladies with this one. It's a wild day when I have to agree with men. It really is a wild day. But follow me. So Lil Mama, had a birthday party recently. But the theme of the birthday party was a bridal shower. So when a woman gets engaged, prior to the engagement, with her bridesmaids and the closest friends and whatever, she has a bridal shower. I see Mark screwing his face. That's exactly how I feel. How do you think I feel? This is difficult for me.
Yeah, I don't get it.
It's wild. So women have bridal showers leading up to their weddings. You know, it's like what's a hen party? Is that a hen for men or hens for women?
Hens for women.
Stags
for men.
It's basically like that, but it's like it's a whole new thing. You know, we've done that baby shower, baby reveal. It's all of that marketing stuff that we're doing now. So, anyways, so to have a baby shower, but a bridal shower, sorry. So her birthday party. The theme of the birthday party was bridal shower. There's no word. I don't think she's not engaged. She's not. There's nothing that says that she's engaged. And this is why I said I had a message for the ladies. I just think I love love. I absolutely adore love. I love partnership. I want to get married one day. I love these things. However, I just think as women, we really need to not, this might be a topic of the day, we really need to not wear it on our head so much. Respectfully. I know.
Lil Mama's crazy though, man. You can't judge all from Lil Mama what Lil Mama's doing.
But you know what's crazy? Is that I was in the comments and people are like, this is a sick idea. So look what's happened. She started something. The girls are going to be doing this. No, wait until you have a wedding. You have something to bridal shower about. Because also on TikTok recently, there's this whole trend. I don't know if it's real or not, but people are basically doing fake weddings. As in they're doing the entire expense. The asher, the everything to do with a wedding.
Why?
I don't know.
You know what?
I don't know if it's people think that they're not going to experience these things in real life. So it's like, let me seize the day. Because let me read you what Lil Mama's caption was.
I actually want to see. I'm going to her Instagram page.
She hasn't posted the pictures yet. Oh. This was, exclusive kind of leaks. But she said, quote unquote, quote, the bridal shower, unquote, was beautiful. This is how I know it was fake. I will share photos and videos soon. To my family and close friends, I want you to receive your flowers while you are here, not when you're deceased.
Wait, but she's got Amanda.
She's not engaged though.
Her man, I don't know if you guys know. Have you heard of this guy called 5 Mics?
No.
He's this rapper, but he looks, anyway.
Yeah, he looks interesting. That's what.
Hey, I know this is off topic, but you just should go watch the Lil Mama interview with Breakfast Club when Charlamagne was a prick. See what he done to her.
That was so sad. It's still one of the.
Watch it. Everyone's seen that.
It's one of the saddest.
No, I'm saying, run it back.
Oh, run it back. Yo, guys, check out this interview I saw the other day.
Exclusive.
It's
one of the.
It's horrible.
It was horrible.
It's funny, man.
It was horrible. I know that he definitely feels bad about that.
Funny.
Because Charlamagne is on this whole awakening journey now. He cares about mental health and everything. So I know he feels bad, but that
Yeah,
was
he has to feel bad. But it was horrible.
No, it was
man.
bad.
He made her cry.
It was actually Angelique that made her cry officially.
No, but you
No,
know,
it was obviously we know what Charlamagne done, but it was her question that actually made her cry about her mum's passing.
no. But you know when
Dad's passing.
Have you ever
I think-
wanted to cry?
mum's
Yeah.
passing,
That was just the straw that broke
It
the
was the
camel's
straw that-
back.
exactly.
Like,
I was gonna say, have
Charlamagne
you-
was fisting her up the whole time, and it's like, you know, like when it's on the cusp, like you know, like when you're feeling bad and someone asks you if you're all right, or just makes you blink. Or
Yes,
something.
exactly. That's what I was gonna say. That you know, like when you want to cry, sometimes you got a lump in your throat, and then when someone says, "Are you okay?" It's just like the tears just come rolling down.
But yeah, her and 5 Max. Everyone go to Instagram and type in 5 Max.
No, don't go on Instagram yet. Do it after the show. They're gonna come off the views.
Yeah, because it's a strange couple.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Yeah, it's an interesting one.
Yeah,
Then it's on brand.
you think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Take that as you will. Whatever you think that means, it does. It's on brand. But I think with her, I mean, she hasn't mentioned anything about being engaged. I do hope that she's engaged. I do find this a little bit pathetic. I know it's someone's birthday and I feel bad vibes, but I am bad vibes sometimes. No one's going to beat me. But yeah, she said, you deserve everything. Thank you for sharing this special moment with me. I love you all. She's going to put out big pictures and videos soon. But I definitely did see women, and even if this comes out and she is engaged, there are women who have seen this and said, yes, I'm going to start having a bridal shower themed birthday. And I just think, as women, I want better for us, man. Like, I think there's nothing wrong with desiring love. There's nothing wrong with wanting a husband and wanting a partnership and wanting marriage and wanting a wedding. But damn, it should not be your character. It should not be your personality trait. But yeah, man. All the best to Lil Mama anyway. Big up Lil Mama. I didn't.
All right, guys, I've got I can come back, but I need like 10 minutes. I've been infiltrated, and something's got to happen in there. It's gonna disrupt me too much. I've got to leave and come back.
That's fine.
All right, cool.
See you in a bit.
All right, cool.
Brendan's left as well. And Miles is left.
I'll definitely be back. I probably need like 10 minutes.
All right,
But then,
cool.
but then remember, I got to leave. But you know what I'm saying? Stop playing with me. Don't play with me.
Yeah, we'll be quick. But yeah, so big up Lil Mama anyway, and I hope less women have bridal shower themed birthdays. And my last bit, I didn't think I'd be talking about this man. I did swear off him. Iman, you won. Only because I guess it's relevant news. So big up Kim Kardashian to freedom. Kanye has finally decided to settle their divorce after a year. I also found out actually that she basically filed a motion to be declared single, and he said he didn't agree to that, and the judge just granted it anyway because he was still doing my wife, you know, ruining it. But yeah, so basically, he's handed in all his financial documents and all that kind of stuff. They're kind of coming to a settlement. I think the only thing obviously will be the kids stuff, which is quite big. But he's basically filed a declaration of disclosure. So he's given all the information that he needs to give to make this happen. And usually, apparently, once you get to this stage, it's sometimes a matter of days or maybe like a month before it's officially done. So big up Kim. Well done to Kanye for letting this woman go. Because sometimes you just have to let somebody go. But apparently, though, even with his recent situations now, they only communicate through their assistants. Okay. So she's stopped talking to him. She's cut contacts off. And obviously, you know when he was fighting for the kids to go to Donda school?
Yeah.
He leaked where North goes to school. So the school have had to hire extra security, but Kim is the one who has to pay for that. Because obviously with celebrity kids, yeah, it's a different situation. Do you get me? Like even as normal people, I always say to people, like when, you know, the kids are going to year 7 or starting school, I always say, always blur out or take out the school badge or anything that can let people know where your child goes to school. People are weird in this world. But yeah, he leaked where North goes to school. So now they need extra security and whatever. And apparently, like even the other day, she had a basketball game. And guess what he rocked up in?
Guess what he rocked up in?
Yeah.
What?
The White Lives Matter t-shirt. At the child's school. That's how your kids get bullied. So yes, I'm hoping that, you know, hopefully this gets sorted out and Kim can just move on with her life. And I find it weird as well because people who know both of them keep saying, you know, this would be a good time where Kim can help him and blah. And I'm just like, why do you want suffering for women? If this man cannot help himself, if there's people around him that I'm sure he's got brothers. When I say brothers, not necessarily biological, but like he's got brothers in the scene and whatever. If they can't help him, why do you want a woman to take on that burden? I can only imagine. And again, sad day where I never thought I'd be sitting here defending the Kardashians, but I can only imagine what life must have been like for her all the time when he was doing all this nonsense behind closed doors. Because even the time when he was tweeting Kim Jong-un, he was literally in the house with her. In the house with her. Like, do you know how wild that is? You're tweeting about my family and tweeting about me and saying derogatory, crazy things. And these times we're under the same roof. So I can only imagine what she'd been through. And she was someone who you could tell that she really loved him or whatever. And I know that as people tend to do, like there's certain things you don't let out. Do you get me? Family secrets you don't let out. And then he decided to show his ass out in public. I also saw a video where, this is hilarious, where basically reporters were asking about that whole anti-Semitic thing. And guys, you know what his response was? I don't really care about that. Kanye's just being Kanye. But what the funniest part of this video, Yusuf, you never guess who was standing right next to Kanye.
Yeah.
Ray J.
Seriously?
Ray J. Ray J was right next, as in like, so Kanye was trying to get into the car, and paparazzi were obviously taking pictures, whatever, and they asked him a question. Yeah. You see a man in like all blacked out suits, as in like he's got looking like Ghost.
Okay.
You know how Ghost would have his proper tailored black coat? Yeah. And I'm thinking I thought this was Kanye security.
It's Ray J.
Then I catch a clip that said, say it ain't so. It can't be Ray J. I've had to rewind the video. Show it, man. It's Ray J. And Ray J smiled at the camera.
Yeah. Because he was on Breakfast Club, sorry. Drink Champ saying that. Yeah, him, Ray J and what's that other guy's name? Her first boyfriend,
Chris thingy.
Nah, man, the one back there, man. Reggie Bush.
Reggie Bush.
Yeah.
They're cool.
They're like brothers in arms, isn't it?
So he's gone to Colette Alliance.
Yeah.
Kim's exes. That's so weird.
Change the camera to me. I hate when I have to control the cameras. I always forget.
You forget.
Yeah.
But that's wild. How are you getting all your exes and everyone line up? What do you think this is? But no, Ray J, when I tell you, Ray J makes me laugh because while everyone's out here, let me see, I don't know if it was showing.
No, sorry, what he was saying was that Kim clearly has a type because of those three. But I'm like, there's no common denominator here. You're just all black. That's it.
You're just all black. That's it. That's literally it. And you guys were a trend for her.
You're like, me, Ray, Reggie, she's got a type.
No, because she was also with Chris Humphries and Pete Davidson.
Exactly.
They could form an alliance.
I don't think Ray J, Reggie Bush, and Kanye is a type.
It's not a type. You're just black.
Yeah.
To be fair though, black was their type for the longest time in that family.
Yeah. No. I think Kim's preference is black men.
Yeah.
But I think she's shown that she can
deviate,
dip out that. Pete is the prime example.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll put the video up in the community because when I tell you, it's actually such a funny video because I was so convinced it was his security. He looked like security, and then you see him turn around, and then you see him just smile at the camera, like he just like at the camera.
Listen, Ray J is a legend.
Ray J is iconic. He's such an icon.
He is an absolute legend. He's a king.
But he's silly though. He's silly because while everyone was out here worrying about his mental state and the worrying things he's been posting, he's out here doing buddy with what's it called?
Yeah.
Kanye West. Misery loves company, Ray J. Just stay away from that man. It's put you through a lot. It really has put you through a lot. But yeah, man, big up the Kardashians, big up Kim. I feel like she has definitely tried. I can't even fault her. Sis has tried. She has tried. So I'm glad that this is coming to an end. And he's gone through 6 lawyers. 6 lawyers. At the moment, our president has got 2. So I guess he's gone through 4. Because obviously when he moves to different states, so they've got to represent in different states. But 6 lawyers for divorce.
That's a lot.
Mad. But apparently they're reaching like settlements on like houses and property and their properties and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, that's all good. But I reckon the kids stuff is where it's gonna be long for. But he just needs to accept that the kids are better raised by Kim. Can't even lie to you. He's too unstable to raise them kids. It's not fair on them. It's not gonna be fair on them. And they're not coming to your school because what is the curriculum like? And furthermore, anyway, I need to know people who thought it was a good idea to have their child go to Kanye's school.
Yeah, but it
what's the thought process behind that?
It wouldn't just be like he wouldn't have come up with the curriculum himself though. It would have been like
they were all black. They were all black Yeezys. As in from head to toe, they're in baggy black t-shirts and black cargo pants and black Yeezys.
Yeah, that's just the uniform. That's all right.
That's
drip.
But in terms
that's
of what
mentally draining, isn't it?
But in terms of what they learn, they'll probably learn a lot more better and productive things, like for them to navigate life than in normal public school. I think so. Like in terms of just being creative, in terms of economics, starting businesses.
They'll definitely learn a lot about black. But then these days, maybe he's got them wearing White Lives Matter t-shirts. Who knows?
Yeah, that would be a problem there. Maybe they need a supply teacher like Dr.
Do you know what? It wouldn't be a problem because any parent who thought it was a good idea to subscribe to Kanye's. I'll be honest with you. I don't care what's being taught there. It doesn't sound like it sounds like a recipe for disaster for me, personally. But that's just going off. He's never given me a good recipe to follow. So, you know what they say. But yeah, guys, that is all from me today. Should we get into the People's Journal?
Let's do it.
Going for a lottie, man.
So there's a little hiccup. To the People's Journal, I give you the news from an economics point of view. So I've got quite a few things to talk about today. I was thinking of maybe leaving half of it till tomorrow, but some of this may be pertinent information. So the first thing is about Tesco and basically the realization, well, the reality check that the chairman of Tesco has basically come out with. And he's basically said, look, I just want to warn the people, it's going to be hard, like in the face of these rising interest rates. So he had an interview with BBC, right? And he was basically telling them that, look, I'm aware millions will actually face a much higher mortgage payments while the prices of food and energy are already increasing as well. So the fact that most families that, like, I guess that have their own properties, mortgages and stuff, they're going to be having to deal with those, right? But coming to Tesco, coming to these other supermarket chains as well, just to be honest with you guys, prices are going to go up. You know what I'm saying?
We know.
Do you know what's man? I thought you were going to report on the club card conspiracy.
Okay.
Conspiracy.
Them club card prices is what the prices should be.
Well, I'm about to mention the
Okay.
a bit. I know you disagree because you mentioned it before, like you kind of are saying now, right? But I still think it's worth investing in. Honestly.
No. You're talking about Tesco subscription.
No, but
I'm talking about club cards.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's not an investment. It's free.
Yeah, it's two different things. So basically, the club card thing, if you just have a normal club card,
Yeah.
you know they've got like normal prices and then they've got club card price.
Yeah.
But like Esther's saying, the club card price typically is what the price should be anyway,
Yeah, of
right? But on top of that, there's something called Tesco Club Card Plus.
Okay. Oh, you mentioned before.
Yeah. And I think that's, again, it's kind of like Esther was saying, if you buy, it kind of only benefits you if you buy in bulk.
Yeah. If you do your family shop there.
Yeah, because
solely, then
exactly, because it's a $7.99 monthly subscription.
How much you get off again? £20?
10%. 10%. I think it's up to £20.
Well, 10% off every shop.
2 big shops.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a minimum spend for it? There isn't
It
it?
must be because it says big
Minimum.
shop.
No, there's no minimum. But if you do a minimum, then it doesn't benefit you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you don't get 10p off.
Yeah. So like you just go in just once and doing £100 shop twice, you've made your subscription back.
That's if you're like getting like
That's if you
tinned
do big
goods. If you're getting fresh vegetables and fruits and stuff like that,
True. But even saying that, the price of fruit has gone up, man. Everything's,
what are you telling?
that's what I'm
I
saying.
had the cherries in a minute.
But even if you go there and do like £50 shops,
Yeah,
right?
it's £5 off.
There you go. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's worth it. You know what I'm saying? But again, that's just some bad news and just a reality check that he was basically saying to the people. Also, according to Watchdog, they like to investigate different things here and there. They were looking into broadband, right? And the amount of people that have access to it and the amount we're paying for these tariffs as well. And what they discovered is that there's millions of people, so it could be plenty of our listeners here as well, or themselves or people that they know that are missing out on cheaper broadband tariffs, right? Because these certain firms actually don't promote them properly. Obviously, as you know,
Of course they don't.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? As you know, it costs money to promote certain things. Cool. But also, if they're not promoting it properly, especially if they've got you on a higher tariff already,
Yeah.
it doesn't benefit you to let them know. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So, guys out there, investigate basically. That's the moral of the story. Investigate, because
Yeah,
apparently what they're saying is around 3.5% of those who are eligible for certain deals, for the deals are currently on one. Only 3.5%.
It's like car insurances where you're nothing would have happened in the year. You've been a good customer. Then your insurance is going up. Why? And then when you go and search somewhere else, you find it for cheaper. Or when you tell them you're leaving, like, oh, actually,
There's a discount.
there's an automatic discount in the thing. You got closed mouths don't get fed.
100%. So people check and make sure, even if you're not entitled to benefits, just check. You may be able to shop around and find something cheaper.
Yeah.
Also, if you are on benefits, there are the social tariffs that you are entitled to. So basically, everyone who's in receipt of universal credit is eligible. Some providers don't extend the eligibility to those on other benefits like pension credit, ESA, job seekers and stuff like that. But typically, if you're on universal credit, you could be getting your broadband a lot cheaper. So it's worth looking into, people.
Defo.
Also, I kind of touched on this yesterday, and this is about energy bills. Remember, Jeremy Hunt is now the new Chancellor, and as much as everyone was gunning Kwesi Kwarteng, this particular U-turn doesn't benefit us, the public, right now anyway. So, like I was saying, they were planning to put into place a 2-year deal, which kind of helped everyone to kind of pay on average, when an average household, a maximum of 2,500, right? But again, that 2 years has been capped down to 6 months now. So from April, what they're saying is, based on certain analysts' estimations and things of that nature, they're saying that the typical household energy bill will no longer be 2,500. It will go up to 4,347 a year. So off-gem was 3,008. Remember I was saying off-gem, right? This is 4,347. Now, all of this is just ridiculous. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's really ridiculous, man. So people, again, like I was saying earlier, if you plan in advance, you know what I mean? If you just maybe put on another layer or something so that you can save your money, because really now, like, the tariffs are crazy. You know what I'm saying? Don't be caught out and, you know, spending unnecessarily on things you don't necessarily need. That idea, I don't think it's going to be implemented. But the thing about, what's her name, Liz Truss coming out and basically saying we will give £10 back to households that turn off their heating and their electricity and their gas between certain hours of the day. I don't think that's going to be implemented. But if that was, I would consider it, you know. I'll consider that. I'll just make sure I'm not in the house at them times. Seriously, man. Because like I really want people to recognize that like your bills are going to go up crazy, exponentially. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a joke. But anyway. The next headline to talk about is, again, we've touched on this quite a few times as well, but there's an MP by the name of Peter Dowd. He's an MP for Labour. And he's come out and basically said in the comments, look, employees should be allowed to only work 4 days a week and still receive full pay.
Then stop teasing me. Make it happen.
So, obviously, Labour are not in power, but if it does happen, he might be one of those who are, you know, trying to challenge it and get Labour to implement it. So again, like as to say, I don't want to tease everybody too much, but I just want to highlight that it seems to be a real idea that people are really floating around and really considering. You know what I'm saying, in all areas of life. So we'll see what happens with that, and I'll update everybody. Some bad news, and this is about mortgage rates. Again, like I said yesterday, average mortgage rate right now, fixed rates have just skyrocketed right now. And based on, according to Money Facts, the data is suggesting that the average rate for 2-year fixed rate loans have risen to 6.53%. That's just ridiculous. Last year, if you wanted to get a 2-year fixed rate, I think you're looking at about 1.97. Let's just say 2%. It's gone up to 6.53%. This was just yesterday. So, again, like, I don't know what's going on with this government, man. But things obviously need to change. Right. I really can't advise anybody on what to do if their thing is coming to an end, because some people may feel like, you know what, once things start to settle, you know, Bank of England will reduce their interest rates, and hopefully the lenders will do the same. But at the same time, some people just don't believe that's going to happen, and that this is actually going to be good if you consider where we're going to be in a year or two from now. So yeah, once again, I'll update everybody as I know more. And the last thing I want to talk about is the whole back and forth about whether Liz Truss is going to raise pensions in line with inflation. She's not going to do it. It's been decided now. Liz Truss is no longer promising to raise state pensions in line with inflation. You know what I'm saying? She's asked the ministers to look for spending cuts, to figure out ways where we can do certain things. So yeah, long story short, to wrap this up, it's not going to happen. Okay. Yeah, that's it really.
They're going to get her out of here quicker than she can say her name.
Mm-hmm. Liz.
Yeah. You out. All right, well.
That's the end of the People's Journal.
Nice, let's get into our next headlines. You reading the headlines, right?
Yes. sorry. Do you know what it is? I was thinking on this Wednesday. That's me as well, innit?
That's done.
It's all you.
It's
boy.
all you, innit?
All right, cool. So next headline is there's more train strikes, man. So Network Rail workers are to stage fresh strikes in the bitter row over pay, jobs, and conditions, threatening fresh disruptions to service. So members of the Rail, Maritime, and Transport Union (RMT) will strike. Well, they're looking to strike now on the 3rd, the 5th, and the 7th of November. 3 days, right, in the same week. In separate disputes, RMT members on London Overground and London Underground are looking to strike on the 3rd of November. So it looks like the 3rd of November will be the most disrupted day.
Oh, that's a Queen's birthday.
The 3rd?
Yeah.
So is the Queen going to stay in the house? Or?
Thankfully, we're not brunching that day. She'll be fine.
It's a day before my birthday.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, I'll stay in my house.
You got a job over here.
So the union has accused Network Rail of attempting to impose drastic changes in working practices on its staff and of writing directly to staff, undermining delicate talks. So the RMT General Secretary, Mick Lynch, he's been all over the TV recently. He pretty much said the dishonesty of Network Rail bosses has reached a new low in this national rail dispute. On the one hand, they're telling our negotiators that they are prepared to do a deal while planning to torpedo negotiations by imposing unacceptable changes to our members' terms and conditions. Our members are livid with these duplicitous tactics, and they will now respond in kind with sustained strike action. He doesn't mince his words, man. In response to that, though, Tim Shoveler, who's Network Rail's chief negotiator,
That's
said...
so funny.
What the name?
Shoveler.
Shoveler.
Working on the rail.
He's come out and basically said, look, a 2-year, 8% deal with discounted travel and a new extended job guarantee to January 2025 is on the table, ready to be put to our staff. Unfortunately, the leadership of the RMT seem intent on more damaging strikes rather than giving their members a vote on our offer. Me and my team remain available for serious talks and continue to negotiate in good faith.
Okay.
Yeah, just a bit of context. What he's talking about in terms of the vote for the offer, I think typically what happens is when these organize these the staff strike, yes, prior to the strike, they vote on whether to strike. And when, let's just say everyone votes to say, yeah, we're going to strike, right? The union represents them now for, let's just say, 6 months.
Okay.
So the union now has autonomy on what to do on behalf of the staff. And that's why he's basically saying, look, we're giving you 8%. Ask your staff now if they're happy with this. The union's like, no, we don't need to, basically. We want more.
Okay.
And that's basically what's going on. So
8% is a good raise, though.
yeah.
I think I got 3%. Slap in my face, that was.
8% is decent. But I guess when you're considering 2 years and inflation maybe potentially going up to 10, 15% if it does, it's not that good.
I think my work people need to strike. But I can't join you all on the fields. I don't.
You can just stay at home, innit? Support.
Yeah, I support in spirit. Absolutely, I support in spirit.
And the last headline is to do with Kevin Spacey. Remember before we spoke about him being in court, right?
Yeah.
Over these alleged sexual offences. Well, he's in there right now, and I just wanted to give an update. So Kevin Spacey is taking a stand at his civil trial in New York.
Trigger warning.
Sorry, trigger warning. Thank you, Esther. To deny the claim that he sexually assaulted a 14-year-old at a house party in 1986. He's come out and basically said it's not true. And these are to do with allegations by Anthony Rapp, who is seeking $40 million in damages. Before taking the stand on Monday, Mr. Spacey won a victory when a judge dropped one of the claims brought by Mr. Rapp. So already, straight off the bat, one of the claims were dropped, right? Mr. Spacey is separately facing 5 charges in the UK for sexual assault as well. So Mr. Rapp, who's 50 now, who is also an actor and known for his role in Star Trek, Discovery, filed a complaint against Mr. Spacey in 2020, saying that he touched him inappropriately when Mr. Rapp was 14 years old and made sexual advances towards him. Taking a stand in his own defense in the 3rd week of his trial, Mr. Spacey said he was shocked when Mr. Rapp went public with his allegations 5 years ago. He said, I didn't know how this could be possibly true, adding that he would not have sexually been interested in Mr. Rapp because he was underage at the time. Mr. Spacey also discussed growing up with his father, who he described as a white supremacist and a neo-Nazi. Not sure how that's related to the case, but I understand he was talking about his background, right?
Yeah.
He also said that he was forced to listen to hours and hours and hours of hatred from his father, which instilled in him a hatred for prejudice and bigotry. This, he said, also discouraged him from publicly disclosing that he was gay sooner. And he said, this is the first time I've ever spoken about this publicly. Anyway, long story short, Mr. Spacey, as we all know, announced that he was choosing to live as a gay man as part of his first response to Mr. Rapp's allegations, which was criticised for deflecting attention from the accusations against him. Mr. Rapp says that Mr. Spacey was around 26 to 27 years old at the time when he met him at a party at his Manhattan apartment. According to court documents, he claims that during the party, Mr. Spacey lifted him up and his hand grazed his buttocks. He alleges that Mr. Spacey then placed him back down on a bed and briefly placed his own clothed body partially beside and partially across his own. Separate sex assault charges alleging that Mr. Spacey groped an 18-year-old at a restaurant in Massachusetts in 2016, collapsed in 2019 when the actor's lawyers argued that the accuser had manipulated text messages on his phone. In August, a judge ruled that Mr. Spacey has to pay $31 million to the producers of House of Cards for the cost they incurred after firing him from the show. In July, he entered a not guilty plea in London to criminal charges of sexually assaulting 3 men over a decade ago. And that trial, which you spoke about earlier as well, is due to begin June of next year.
It's mad. Going through it.
Yeah, and that's the end of the headlines.
All right. Well, you're going to talk about sports today?
Yeah, I guess so.
Let's do the reaction then.
All right. So the first thing is we spoke about this before, but I think there's more to the case, right?
Okay.
I was gonna, you know what? Yeah, I'll still do it. But basically, this is to do with the whole Benjamin Mendy case, right? And so a young woman, trigger warning, a young woman allegedly raped at an after party at Manchester City defender Benjamin Mendy's house, told a court that she had sex with 2 other men afterwards, including Mendy's teammate Jack Grealish.
Swear down.
Yep.
Oh, shit.
So the jury at Chester Crown Court heard later she sent a text to a friend saying, "Ha ha ha ha, I have slept with Jack Grealish." The woman, aged 23 at the time, had gone back with other young women to Mendy's mansion for a party after clubbing with the footballers in the VIP area of China White nightclub in Manchester on August 23rd last year. While at the party, the young woman said she was raped in a Mercedes-Benz by Mendy's friend and fixer, Louis Saha Maturi, who's 41, after they left the house to buy some alcohol from a local garage. A second woman, who was aged 17 at the time, claimed she was also raped twice at the party by Mendy, 28, in his office and trophy room, and raped twice more by Maturi afterwards, once in the cinema room and later at a flat in Manchester. I just wanted to kind of read some of the questioning that happened when this basically was revealed to the public, right? So Lisa Wilden, Casey, defending Maturi, she basically asked the witness about this whole situation, about her, about what I just said, basically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She basically said to her, where is it? Sorry. Where did it go? Sorry about this, guys.
So you got plans for later? You got anything going on?
I want to go to the gym, but I'm also craving a bagel.
Okay. What's your go-to filling in a bagel? Talk to me.
I like a breakfast bagel.
Breakfast one, yeah?
Yeah, so like
Right.
a turkey bacon,
Mm.
like a sausage, like a beef sausage,
Okay.
fried egg,
Yep.
well done, and that's about it.
Nice.
That's a lot,
That's-
though. To say that's
that's
about
it.
it.
That is about it. I found a place actually the other day,
Yeah.
but they weren't delivering to my area. And I think it's in Kensington, I believe. And they have like, it looks American. The bagel just looks so good. So I'm trying to battle. Do I go to the gym now, have my bagel, because bagels around here,
Yeah.
or do I go to the gym
Just do both.
and call it a day? Yeah, but if I have the bagel, I'm going to have to go home for a while and then go to the gym later on in the day.
Why?
Because I can't go to the gym with food in my belly.
No, have the bagel, wait about 40 minutes. You know what I mean? And then go gym.
Do you know how my digestion works?
Because
Very
a
slow.
bagel, to me, a bagel is not something that can prevent me from going gym. It's not that filling. It's not that much food. It's just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
There's a lot
Or
of stuff in it, though.
get a bagel that
Even
isn't.
you're loud.
Get a different bagel. Get a bagel that's a bit more lighter.
That's not an option.
No?
No.
Okay. Man, are you ready? Let's go.
Yeah, so basically, the 23-year-old, the lady, right, told police that when she got back to Mendy's house after the alleged rape, she
Yeah.
felt vile, dirty, and disgusting, right? And she spent the rest of the time in the house. This is what she's saying. She spent the rest of the time in the house sitting on the sofa talking to 2 other girls before going to sleep upstairs in the bedroom with another man that she didn't know. So this is what she said, right?
Also, 1 second. She's not accusing Jack Grealish of rape, is she?
No.
No.
So this is basically what she came out and said first, right? But on the stand, the person who's defending Maturi, Lisa Wilder in KC, she asked the witness after that whole thing about the vile, dirty, and disgusting. She said, that wasn't true, is it? And the witness said no. So she admitted straight away that what she first said wasn't true.
Was a lie. Okay.
So then she basically, the witness admitted that she had not told police about having sex with another male, who they call Ghost, in the swimming pool area of the house. So the one who's questioned her basically said, so what did you do after that finished? And the witness replied, I said I was sat on the sofa. I was sat with Jack Grealish. I know what you're going to say. This is what the witness is saying. Then the person defending Maturi said, okay, do you remember kissing Jack Grealish in the kitchen on the sofa in the living room? In the living room, yeah. And she replied, yes. Then she asked, did you have sex with Jack Grealish that night? The witness replied, yes. I don't have a memory of what room I was in. I don't remember anything that happened. I remember something happened. She then asked, do you remember telling police last month, I'm 80% sure I have had sex with Jack Grealish, but I'm not sure because I fell asleep and woke up fully naked. And she replied, yes, I'm fully sure we had sex. I'm certain we did.
Is she saying it was consensual sex, or what is she saying?
Yeah, with Jack Grealish, she's saying it's consensual.
But with the other guy?
But all of that doesn't tie in with the narrative about the rape. Because she's basically saying at first, she got raped, she felt bad, disgusting, vile, sat down on the sofa, talking to a couple of girls and just had enough.
So why are you reenacting it?
Oh, sorry.
Open the door, close the door.
I am so
confused.
Sorry. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the initial narrative was. But that's why the woman's question is saying, wait a minute, that's not what happened. There was no feeling this particular way because it wasn't true. Because afterwards you went to speak to Jack Grealish and then followed him upstairs and had sex with him.
So did she get raped then?
Not by, well, this is what we're
Okay, not Jack, but the other guy that she's claiming raped her.
Well, this is what the court case is about. So
Is she still standing by her guilty?
I believe so. So, okay.
Boy.
Yeah. The woman then admitted that she told police she went to sleep upstairs in a room and another man was there, but she did not know who it was. Then the woman asked her, was it Benjamin Mendy? And she said yes. So the Miss Wilden, who's the one questioning, said, did you have sex with Benjamin Mendy? She said no, she replied. Just sexual activity. She said, I didn't want to be judged. It just doesn't look good, does it?
So is this after the rape?
This is about the whole
Oh, this is about the rape. Yeah.
Yeah. And
There's
then
many
she said-
characters in this.
Yeah. As she left Mendy's house just after 10 a.m. the next morning, she sent text messages to a friend about her night, the court heard, right? The first read, ha 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 ha, I have slept with Jack Grealish. Her friend replied, oh God, LOL. What the F? OMG. Proud of you. Was he
How
good?
dare
Yeah.
you?
So I'm saying, listen.
You know what I'm saying? And then since,
Some of y'all's group
the
chats.
message was like, he was good, LOL, question mark. And the woman replied, yes, very good. Another message read,
Big up,
yes,
Jack.
he has a girlfriend, followed by a sad face emoji. Miss Wilden asked if she was boasting or flexing about what she had done. She said, I wouldn't say flexing.
Girl.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Imagine telling a girl I'm proud of you because she said she slept with someone. That's funny.
I thought you'd be waiting to secure that, innit? Good true, sis. Big up you.
Yeah, it's just... Yeah.
If it turns out that she lied about, why don't court do use lie detector tests and stuff? Sounds like an easy thing to me.
And also, how accurate are lied?
It's like 99%.
Are they?
I think it might be 99%, but I think some people
I guess it was-
kind of think it.
Yeah, people know how to cheat. But if it is that she did not get raped and she's just done all of this for whatever she's done it for, send her to jail. I always believe anyone who lies about rape, the sentencing the person with the predator would have gotten, you need to get that because you do not go around ruining someone's name for the sake of it just because you need something to do on a Tuesday afternoon.
Yep.
Yeah.
And furthermore, that person, like they could have been, you could have ruined their lives. You need to go to jail. I don't believe that's something that it's just like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, and you walk away. No, as in go to jail for the duration they would have gone to jail for had they been found guilty of that.
Yeah.
You cannot be wasting people's time. And also what that does as well, it ruins situations for women who actually go through these things.
This is it.
It ruins that for them. Where then when they come, people are like, oh no, yeah, but what did you do? Do you get what I mean? Like, nah, man, lock her up. If it is that he did not do it, yeah.
Also, when did this happen? I'm sure Jack Grealish joined Man City after Benjamin Mendy's first initial allegations.
Yeah,
after
Jack
he
went
was
chilling with the big boys.
exiled from the team.
Boy, I'm not too sure. You know.
The timeline for me is a bit. I'm sure Grealish only. Yeah, like because Mendy's been out Man City's team for about 2 years now. About 2 seasons, I think.
All of this happened last year.
Oh, okay.
So August last year, I believe. That's when they went to they were clubbing in the VIP area of that nightclub and all that stuff. Yeah. Yeah, it's just sad, man. It's sad. Yeah.
Yeah, she and her lawyer needs to go back and figure out what it is that they need to, what they're telling people.
I can't believe I'm even going to say this, but at least she's kind of telling the truth now.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
because
saying?
poor guy.
You know what I'm saying? You're ruining people's lives.
But then even that, though, she hasn't exactly exonerated. He isn't exonerated yet.
No, but it does paint a picture, at least in my mind, that there's some sketchy things going on here. Especially if you were saying you was raped.
But
and
then
you felt a particular way, and then we find out you really didn't, because then you went and had sex with some other guy.
Do you know what it is that even with that, because I can understand Cameras Yusuf, Yusuf.
Sorry.
Goodness me, can't get the star.
Sorry, I was temporarily distracted.
But the thing with that is that it is possible, because it is possible for your partner to rape you. So it is possible that she could have been raped. And I think if it was the case where she was raped, that people have different trauma responses to things. Do you get what I mean? So that I'm not so much questioning. I can't understand why she wouldn't have told the police that she then went on to have consensual sex, because they would have dismissed it and be like, so you're telling me one person raped you and then straight after you went to have sex. I can get that. So I think she just needs to just be real and really say what it is that happened.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, she just needs to say what it is that happened. I can't understand why she held that from the police. Just because with women anyway, you're kind of judged even when you do reports. And like even yesterday, I had to retweet something. If you guys follow me on Twitter, please retweet and raise awareness for the girl. And literally, she was actually sexually assaulted raped by this guy. And because he's homeless, they can't charge him.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, they said he hasn't got this is what the police told her, because he's homeless and he said he's homeless and he hasn't got an address, they can't bring charges on him. Then it's quick. They're put him in jail quickly. Then,
Hold on. Is that the case for just a rape charge or any charge?
I don't even know. Not you, but they're going to crime spree.
I'm in Tesco stealing bread. Shit, talking about I ain't got a home, sir. I'm on the
I ain't
streets.
got no home. But no, yeah, that's what she said. So I retweeted it. So hopefully, I think she said it's been like a year, and literally the guys even had the cheek to even talk to her and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so with her, she's just because this is a wild story. This is very wild.
Yeah, it really is, man. But yeah, hopefully we'll get to the bottom of it soon.
Yeah,
And
hopefully,
those
man.
who are innocent remain, are exonerated and stuff. But yeah, next headline is Klopp has been charged by the FA. So yeah, Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp has been charged by the FA following his red card in Saturday's 1-0 win over Man City at Anfield. Klopp has until Friday to respond to the charge of improper conduct. The Liverpool manager was sent off after fuming at the assistant referee, Gary Beswick, for not flagging for a foul on Salah during the 1-0 victory. Speaking after the game, Klopp said it was all about emotion, and he took blame for the sending off, saying that he went over the top, but that he felt as though he didn't really disrespect the official. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the last headline is some sad news, man. Kante, he's been ruled out of the World Cup.
Oh yeah.
What
Injury,
happened
innit?
Yeah, injured.
Oh.
Yeah, so Chelsea's Kante has had an operation on his hamstring since because of the injury, of course, and he's now going to be out for 4 months, meaning that he's going to miss France playing in the World Cup. Chelsea made a statement and they said the midfielder visited the specialists with the club's medical department to explore the options for his rehabilitation approach, and it was mutually agreed for Kante to have surgery to repair the damage. And due to that surgery and everything, looking at the healing and all that type of stuff, he's going to be out for 4 months.
Damn it, man.
That must be so upsetting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He hasn't played for Chelsea since their 2-2 draw in August against Tottenham. So yeah.
When's the
I was
World
just
Cup?
about to say that. Where's the World Cup?
World
November,
Cup
innit?
is December, so it's soon.
Let's go, people.
It's
I'm
soon.
looking forward to
it's
that.
soon.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Looking forward to
Shame
it.
Is Nigeria qualified?
No,
Nope.
Ghana did though, innit?
Yeah. Did the Ghana qualify?
they better do.
I think so.
So
I
they
think so.
better do.
Yeah, if it's not those two, what would they?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what are we gonna? I suppose it's the fun of it. It's not nice that it's in winter though.
Yeah, no, it's only in winter because it's in Qatar.
Qatar, oh yeah,
Is it in Qatar? No.
yeah.
Yeah, it's in Qatar. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the weather's nicer
Because
than
normally World Cup's in the summer, isn't it?
Yeah,
So this is unterrated.
Yeah.
Uncharted
Territory.
waters,
That's it.
territory.
Where's that there?
All the above.
I'm unprecedented grounds to have a World Cup.
Crankum.
Yeah, to have a World Cup in winter. So basically, the football season's already started, and we're gonna take a break and then come back afterwards. This never happened before.
Yeah.
So yeah,
First of its kind.
first of its
Yeah, it's
kind,
not
maybe.
really because I love World Cup and I love the ambiance. Like I love how like there's gardens opened up and
Yeah.
when you go to like, I just love that whole thing. No one's doing that in winter.
Do you remember? Was it? No, it wasn't last World Cup. Remember when it was? Everyone talks about it on Twitter. It was the summer of the Euros and Love Island.
Yes.
I think that was like 2 years ago. When was that?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently that was like the best.
No,
the
that
best
was
summer.
a lit summer.
Yeah, because it was always either for football on or Love Island on.
It was just good vibes.
Yeah.
It just makes life like just so worth living.
There you go. Yeah.
Not this winter, though. I'm too cold to go anywhere, so I'll be watching it on my TV.
Yeah, man.
But yeah. Well, we have come to the end,
Yeah,
haven't we?
and Marcus didn't come back.
Mark's back.
No, I hope
Right.
he's all right though.
Leave him, man.
It's fine. Right, let's get into the outro.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, welcome to Down Out Here, guys, and we'll give you more information on this next week.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
And we'll go again.
Because the ticker's just been saying word on road. Since I did word on road.
Oh, was it? Just been saying.
It's just, yeah, I hope that's edited.
Oh, what's a ticker?
serious?
What's a ticker? Is that the thing that scrolls
Yeah,
across the
bottom.
bottom?
Yeah, it's just been word on road since.
Oh, damn.
This guy.
Who? Brent.
Brent.
What do you want to do?
Let's take that off, innit?
Yeah, I feel like you should have just taken it off.
Yeah. He has to find a solution to this Wednesday thing.
Yeah, he's got to let them know. But
You know what I'm saying?
they might be paying the big bucks, so.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
Still got to keep running. Sacrifices. But yeah, guys, we appreciate you guys for tuning in, of course, as always. Thank you for our callers today as well. We really appreciate it. It was Saleh and Francis
Yes.
from South Africa.
Yeah.
Guys,
Yeah, no, I love that.
worldwide.
I love when we get calls from outside the UK.
It's proper sick. It's proper sick. And I love the South African accent, you know.
Mm.
They strike me as are they calm people?
I think generally speaking, yeah. I think, but when they're out though,
Actually,
as in when they're partying, they're
Yeah,
they enjoy life.
yeah.
and the men are giving. As in they're generous with money.
Oh,
I'll make it
okay.
clear.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought, you know what I mean? I thought you meant a little something different than.
No, you two are like,
I was like,
okay.
okay.
No. Whoa.
They are
buddy.
well endowed.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
No?
I haven't explored that far. But
Oh, that far. So what? Just a tip. So okay,
No.
hold on. Let me change the camera.
no, you dare change it back. no, I've only explored their wallets.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're very generous from what I know and very lovely. And if they like a girl, then they let it be known.
Okay. I hear
They
that.
do. But yeah. Anyways, thank you guys.
Yeah.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, I saw something on Insta, right, talking about how basically a South African girl was talking about Nigerian girls,
Yeah.
saying Nigerian girls, all they know is money. All they want is a
Money,
man with
money,
money.
money.
But South African girls, however, if we love you, we will love you. We don't care about that. Da. Is that true?
First of all, she needs to mind her South African business. That's the first thing she needs to do. Furthermore, is giving pick me. If you want to be with a broke man, then go ahead and be that, ma'am. Don't be out here. I don't like it when women are like, oh, all these girls, all Nigerian girls care about is money. We're fine to love. Well, who love don't help? Who has love helped? Go and eat and build homes and build businesses off love, while we're over here thriving with money and love. But no, Nigerian women, I would say though, not to be biased, Nigerian women, it's too much. They wear on their head. It's actually ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not very materialistic, but damn, some of the girls I talk to, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
But I swear Ghanaian girls like that too. Ghanaian girls love it.
Yeah.
They love it. Well, back home is different anyway. I told you guys, they go on dates and bring their friends.
Yeah.
I can't imagine doing that.
Exactly.
Tell your friends be sleeping each other. Anyway. Whew. But yeah, guys, thank you for tuning to the show. We appreciate you guys as always. Before you leave, do like this video. Don't be a witch. Follow us on all our social media platforms. The day after TNB, we posted a new video yesterday. So go and check that out. Go and check that snippet out. Put it on your stories. Do all that great stuff. Comment, share our videos. If you'd like to send voice notes and text in for Sis, what would you do? Asking for a friend. Send it in to 075-6484-1073. You can also send in topic suggestions. But you know a better place to do all of that? The community.
That's right.
if you're part of the community, people drop articles in there, they drop suggestions in there. We're called immature yesterday. It's a great place. It's a great place. All right, so do that, but you can join the community by searching community.thenewblack.com. You guys should know by now, Black is spelled with an X. Come on.
Download the
so
app as
basic.
well.
Download the app.
Yeah.
Yes, the app definitely makes it a lot easier. And also, if you'd like to inquire about the show or feature on the show, email the team the day after at thenewblack.com. We'll be back here tomorrow because we're a daily show and we love you guys.
That's
So
right.
yeah, man. See you tomorrow.
Tomorrow, peace.
Bye.
Peace.